Come into the room, family. Come into the room. I am the H-Town vet, and I would like to welcome you to this live stream, a place where we will discuss a variety of benefits available to veterans, active duty members, and their dependents. Betty Bops is the first in the house tonight. Thank y'all for showing up. Family, we're going to go ahead and get started. We want to thank y'all for being here tonight. As I said, I am the H-Town vet, and I'd like to welcome you to this live stream, a place where we will discuss a variety of benefits available to veteran active duty members and their dependents, and also talk about veteran news that will affect veterans and our benefits. So come into the room, family. Come into the room. Now, we're going to start off. Betty Box was the first in the house tonight. And hold on, give me a second. She was the first in the house, and Betty Box says, hold on, what's going on with that? Something ain't right. Give me a second. Something acting funny here. All right, family. Betty Bob says, H-Town, good evening. Hope you are enjoying your week and finish your Christmas shopping. Yeah. Last minute on that. Then we have MG Smith that says, H-Town, good evening, and veteran family. We have MG Smith that says, hello, Betty. Betty says, good evening, everyone, and the family. Hope you are having an amazing week. And that last minute Christmas shopping, only places that are Harbor Freight, HD, and Lowe's, guess that's Home Depot. The tools was for me. I hear you. I love tools. Then we have Betty Bob saying hi to MG Smith and have a good day. They're speaking. And MG Smith says, yes, I did. Thank you for being so considerate and kind. And then MG Smith says, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Betty. And then Betty says, thank you, MG Smith. Merry Christmas. Oh, we got Coasty in the room. And Coasty says, evening, H-Town and the family. Then we have Betty Bops saying good evening to Coasty. It's the holiday spirit, so we're reading them. Coasty say, hi, Betty and MG Smith. MG Smith says, Coasty, hello. I got to find out what's going on here, family. Got to find out what's going on. Give me a second. Sometime, oh, look at brother. Oh, you made it, brother. Evening shipmate, Betty Bob's Coasty, MG Smith, H-Town, Merry Christmas to all. Y'all be praying for our brother. Pray for our brother. Be there for our brother. Brother Charleston always keeps in contact, and I thank God for you. Everybody show love to Brother Charleston. There we go. I can get it going now. Now, family, let us go ahead and get started here. Let us get started. Family, it's Christmas coming up in a few days. How many days to Christmas? 1, 2 days. Merry Christmas to all. Happy New Year. And Betty Bob say, hello, Charleston shipmate. Hello, love. And everybody's speaking to Brother Charleston. So it's MG Smith says, hello, Charleston, hello. And then Coasty says, hi, Charleston. Yes, indeed. Now, family, let us continue. And how was it going with the presents? We're going over this information. We got 1 day left, okay? 1 full day. Yeah, how y'all on your Christmas shopping? And Coach said, Merry Christmas to the family. Say tomorrow is Christmas Eve, Brother M.G. Smith. I think that's the case. And then Christmas will be on Thursday. So family, let us continue. Get those gifts and sharing. Oh, what is this right here? Why is there a barn that says Merry Christmas to all? Well, how did that get in there? Hold on, who we know that has a barn that deals with farming? I'm trying to make the connection here. Y'all know I get confused about my medicine. Family, what's this here? Yeah, okay, Betty say tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Christmas is the day after that. What's this barn? Oh, look at the barn with the horse. And look at that. Now that first picture, I actually had that picture. It's amazing. Yes, this is Farm Girl Rebel, but the first picture looks exactly like her barn, but it's not. It's one that I came up with. Isn't that weird? But this one is Farm Girl Rebels. We would call it a ranch. Farm, she say farm. Farm Girl Rebel. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what it is, my brother. Yes, indeed. And that ain't all she sent. Now we know right now Farm Girl Rebel is on her anniversary. I hope she don't get us hurt. She was on her anniversary saying hi. And we know that this is her farm. This is photos from her, of her farm. Don't that look almost exactly like the barn I had that said Merry Christmas? Isn't that amazing? And that's the other shed. Say today has made 365 days that jaw surgery, hardware removed. Now, are they going to do any more reconstructive surgery, my sister? Are they planning to replace, or did they already do that? Let us know. Now, this is when they putting that work in. Look at them working, getting that snow out the way so they can get it, open them barn doors. They out there putting in work. Farm Girl Rebel and her husband. And they got it, they doing good. Look, they got that where they gotta have it. That tractor that's enclosed because too much snow. Is that a mistletoe Farm Girl or a grain silo? Is that a missile silo? Oh Lord, is that a missile silo at Farm Girl or a grain silo? As I know she was in the Air Force. And Betty Bob say, thank you for asking. I hope that was it. I hope so. We'll be praying. Make sure you keep up on it. And they do yearly checks to make sure there's no infections because they need to put in the right equipment. Now, who is this here? Farm Girl Rebel and one of them goats. Now, I had a problem with this photo because that goat is eyeballing me, giving me too much eye contact. That goat, would you agree with me that goat is engaging in reckless eyeballing toward H-Town? Can y'all see it? Am I the only one? Please, somebody tell me. But it's so good to see our sister Farm Girl Rebel with her glasses on. See, this is real family here. We don't have to have drama, fakeness. We can be ourselves. Y'all inspire me. And I want to give special thanks to Brother J. Oliver tonight. Smash that like button, family. If this information is informative and you're learning something from the broadcast, we thank you so much for being here, your kindness, your respect, your appreciation. Now smash that like button. Oh, we going in tonight. Sorry, it ain't gonna be a 30-minute. Y'all gotta stop sending me that good information. Stand down. Now, we're gonna get on topic now. We're gonna get it moving as fast as we can. And the topic for tonight is, Combat Timmy. Combat Timmy. and that Purple Heart he received. Yeah, that's adorable. Now, which one adorable, the GOAT or Combat Timmy? He's eyeballing you, H-Town. Even when I told him to disengage, and that said, I was in here talking to the image. Disengage, stand down. You think that GOAT listen? You think that GOAT listen? No. Reckless eyeballing. Now, Combat Timmy, we're going to talk about him tonight. Purple Heart recipient. Right. Purple Heart recipient. Did he earn that Purple Heart? We're going to talk about it tonight because he has to be a stand-up guy the way he talks about our benefits, and that every other word out of his mouth is combat. I'm a combat veteran. I have a Purple Heart. My wife is a combat veteran. My dog is a combat veteran. All of my children are combat veterans. Man, every other word that comes out of Combat Tim, Tiny Tim's mouth is whoop. I say I'd rather more GOAT than Navy Tim. Navy Timmy. Oh boy, y'all something else. Betty Bobs says 6 likes and 2 watching. Yeah, you know, it keeps fluctuating. Something going on. Because I'm watching on other devices. Should be more than that. A lot more of us are interacting. Tiny Tim, yes indeed. Combat Timmy, because he's better than us. See, oh yeah, I'm a combat veteran, but not like him. He's amazing. He's not a professional combat veteran, is he? I can't tell, but he criticizes us for being professional veterans, while you can't get out of the interview without mentioning he has a Purple Heart 6 or 7 times. Unless you asking him how he got that Purple Heart. Huh? Let's talk about it. So the question in particular is, did Senator Sheehy earn his Purple Heart? Now listen, for military merit. That's what's on the back of the Purple Heart. Did Senator Sheehy earn his Purple Heart for military merit? Or is this another Combat Timmy tall tale? Let's talk about it, family. You say another? What you mean another one, H-Town? Hold on. Why we keep hearing more stories about these combat veterans and all these Purple Heart recipients? Because I'm gonna show you something shady about Lieutenant Gade. Because I kind of got the tank confused because I was looking at it from the top. I'm gonna show you something why his loader wasn't supposed to be exposed like that. You know why he didn't get hit, but his loader did, he said? Because he told him to stick his head out. A sergeant asked me to do that. Say, I am confused. Okay, now you say you're confused. Tell me what you're confused about, brother. Let me know. Now, fair use. While we're looking up the video here, let me know what you're confused about, because we want to be clear. We're talking about Tim Sheehy, aka Tiny Tim, aka Combat Tim. Let me know, brother Charleston, what you're confused about. Now, family, fair use, because we're going to go over, well, right now we don't need it yet, but we're about to get into this here. Okay, hold on, that didn't work out like that. Oh boy. Now let's see what our brother said here. He said, Purple Heart, I thought it is awarded for direct enemy fire. Now, I don't know exactly. I know not necessarily. You can get it if other type of situations, if grenade, there are certain circumstances, okay? I can't say all of them, but that's one of the main ways you get the enemy. You get shot. You get part of an explosion, or something, some weapon protrudes you, or you get injured trying to help somebody. There are different ways. We may have to go into more detail about that. I can't talk in detail of all the ways you can receive a Purple Heart. Y'all can tell us some of them that you know of in the chat. Now, he said he got it from being shot, that he received a bullet wound. This is what Senator Tim Sheehy said. So, family, here's the article when he was running for office last year. So there was a lot of controversy behind him doing this. So if you thought I was just giving him a hard time, there's a lot of questionable things. Just like I told you with Chris Kyle, a lot of the war stories and different things that people say, that once people start lying about things, one thing I enjoy about y'all don't lie about things, because if you did, you wouldn't talk so freely. I would catch you in lies, and vice versa. You would catch me in lies. So this is him. Now listen, NBC News says, not MSNBC, NBC News says the disclosure comes as Tim Sheehy was already facing scrutiny for questionable claims he had made about his military career. All right. Now, listen to this here. Not Navy veteran, not honorably discharged veteran. They want to make it sure that you know that they're a status above us. And let me see what our brother says. Betty Bob said Governor Westmore here in Maryland said he had a Purple Heart and he got busted. He never had got a Purple Heart. Well, I'm gonna let y'all decide tonight. We're gonna go through it, and you're gonna get to hear him get directly questioned by that, and you're gonna decide. Okay. So listen what now. Also, his military records. He claimed things that don't add up. Tim Sheehy, this is by Courtney Cube, who did this. Tim Sheehy, a former Navy SEAL, not a current veteran, a former Navy SEAL, talk about being what they call it, professional Navy, former Navy SEAL, but they don't want us to be a professional veteran. This same guy, former Navy SEAL, running for the Senate in Montana. At this time, he was running for the Senate, but he's won since then, has said he was discharged from the military for medical reasons cause of injuries he sustained on duty, but his discharge paperwork tell a different story. God dog. Boy, you got to watch what when you got your story, you got to stick to it, right? Now, heavily redacted 2-page documents obtained by NBC News indicates that Sheehy voluntarily resigned his commission because he was an officer. Remember, officers resign their commission, and does not list any medical conditions that forced him out of uniform, according to a review of documents and a current and former U.S. official familiar with the details of his separation. There was a lot of controversy when he was running for the Senate. Now, Sheehy said as much in his memoirs last year. Nothing that he did developed a medical issue, but it was not the reason he left the Navy. Now listen, in his book, Mudslingers, A True Story of aerial fighting. I don't know how true it is unless he's talking about somebody else. I don't know, because he has a lot of shady stuff going on, in my opinion. Sheehy wrote that he suffered a bad case of decompression sickness, which happens in airplanes when you pilots, commonly known as the bends, while he was riding in a mini submarine doing a training exercise to Hawaii. So I don't know. Have you ever been, any of y'all Navy, have y'all ever been in a submarine? And what was he doing in the submarine? Maybe he had purpose. Maybe it was part of a mission. But he's going to Hawaii. It caused a tiny hole in my heart. So now you hear that? It caused a tiny hole in my heart. So he's claiming conditions. There would be a period of recovery and evaluation. I was told before I could return to active duty, he wrote. He ultimately decided to resign instead. So he had to get evaluated, I'm assuming it's medically, before he could return to his position as an officer. Interesting. He wrote. Now, he ultimately decided to resign instead. If this is his word, quote from Combat Timmy, he said, if I could be out in the field leading from the front, then it was time to consider doing something else. If I couldn't, he said, if I couldn't be out in the field leading from the front, then it was time to consider doing something else. He's not a king. I don't know any officers leading from the front. Then all your communications is knocked off, he wrote. He went on to say, I had put in my time. I was free to go if that was what I wanted. So he had a freedom to do that. Now, in a statement to NBC News, a spokesman for the Sheehy campaign, when he was running for office for the Senate, offered a more nuanced explanation. Now, I want to know about that decompression sickness. That's what he said. I don't know. He wasn't. I don't know if he was a submariner. I don't know. This is what he said to NBC News, his representative. Tim Sheehy was honorably discharged from the Navy after being declared medically unfit to continue to serve as a Navy SEAL in 2014. Okay, so that means he's disabled veteran now, right? Medically discharged, meaning he qualifies for the disability benefits that he's trying to get us not to have. But he said, wait a minute, but I'm a combat veteran, so I deserve them. My service was honorable. If an individual lied, is that service honorable? Now, the spokesperson said after Tim left active duty in 2014, he was then in the Navy Individual Ready Reserve, IRR. And all of us do that, you know. I was in the reserve all the way up to 1999, right before the Second War broke out. Woo! The Second Gulf War, a section of the Navy Reserve until his honorable discharge in 2019. So I guess he was ready, so he went into the reserve. And I believe while he was in the reserve, if I'm not mistaken, that's where he received the Purple Heart from his service while he was in the military. Now let's see what our brothers say here. Now our brothers say, Brother Charles say, question, decompression sickness is common among submariners as a sub coming up too quick can cause bends and burst eardrums. They travel at pressure in subs. Wow. Man, I'm learning something tonight. So I guess he could be telling, truthful about that happening if he was on the submarine. Now, M.G. Smith say all that sounds kind of wishy-washy to me. There's a lie in there somewhere, Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim. Now listen to what they're saying. Charleston says, so I thought Tiny Tim said non-combat, you can walk it off, like Lieutenant Colonel Gade also said. So now here's the trick about it, family. Listen to the hypocrisy that Brother Charleston just pointed out. This issue, even though Combat Tim was a combat veteran, aka Tiny Tim, here's the thing. This issue happened under non-combat situations or in what they call it, hazardous environment in the submarine, if we believe what he said. So that would be a non-combat related injury that he said you shouldn't get anything for non-combat related injury. Now listen at the end, and we'll go maybe some other time into the other stuff because we want to get to this here. The spokesperson did not directly address why Sheehy, Tiny Tim, discharge paperwork contradicts his claims that he was discharged for medical reasons. They just would say stuff without verifying or backing it up. And if you're running for office, don't you want your reputation to be straight? And they talk about he also got a Bronze Star with Valor. And, let's see. Oh, well, they getting into it here. A decorated military career. What's beyond dispute is that Sheehy had a decorated military career. Many people have decorated military career, whether they combat veteran or not. Now, he was awarded a Purple Heart for wounds sustained in battle in one of the most dangerous parts of the Afghanistan, as well as a Bronze Star for valor. I'm not saying I question the Bronze Star, but that Purple Heart. Now let's see what our brothers say. Okay, I guess I back to my confused enlisted state as they officers. Yeah, they still are qualified for certain things, but they get relieved of command. But it's still some of the rules do apply. They can get disability. They can't get a dishonorable discharge court-martial, but it starts off with them being relieved of their command. That's command. That's the worst thing that could happen to them. Now listen to this. Sheehy, listen to this part here. You see this? He say he was awarded. Oh, they just say he was awarded. Don't mean he earned it. He was awarded a Purple Heart for wounds sustained in battle in one of the most dangerous parts of Afghanistan. Now listen to what MSNBC goes on to say. Sheehy's apparently false claims of being medically discharged added to a number of statements he has made about his military records that have been questioned. He was already facing scrutiny for his claim that he was shot in Afghanistan, which has been contradicted by a National Park Service Ranger. Hold on, that was a National Park Service Ranger in Afghanistan? I'm confused, family. We got to get to the bottom of this. This is all over the place. Hold on. Do they have U.S. National Parks Service Rangers in the middle of a combat zone? But this is the person that's refuting him, which has been contradicted by a National Park Service Ranger who has told reporters that Sheehy shot himself in an accident at Glacier Park in 2015. This is a year after he got off active duty. I'm confused. Is this a second bullet wound? Hold on now. Come on now. We got to get to the bottom of this, family. Can we get to the bottom of this here? This is starting to get confusing, fam. We're going to get back to the fair use. You talk about confusion, brother. I'm feeling the same way. Now, we got to get to the bottom of this here. We about to hear some stuff up in here. Let's get to this park ranger, because they had to be lying about him. This man is a sitting senator. He wouldn't have became a senator if he would have. Come in now. Let's get to the bottom of this. Okay, let's get to this here. We're going to watch about 3 or 4 videos, and they're going to bring this here. Now, what's going on here? Oh, Jay in the house? You say, hi, Jay. Where Jay at? Jay said, hello, family. I want to thank Jay for this information. I want to thank Jay, our brother. See, that's why I tell you, all y'all have y'all talents. This live stream is devoted, and y'all will show respect to Jay. Show respect to our brother Jay. He made me do my due diligence and confirm. I verified, brother. Everything he was telling me was true. I said, no, it can't be. How can somebody who say they got shot in a combat zone receive the Purple Heart actually needed an award from what do you call it? Yogi Bear? Because he got shot in a Glacier National Park. What? Now listen, MG Smith say, oh, you said that, now even Jay Oliver, welcome to Confused Zone. It's about to get more confusing, family. Will the Navy have to hold its L? We got to take our L's. Now, MG Smith says, hello, Jay. Now, I'm about to, oh, look what he said. Now, Betty says, everybody say hi to Jay. How I always said it, Tiny Tim was messing around somebody's spouse. Let all be adults about this. Keep digging. You know what? You know that's how stuff happens, huh? They get out there on these little camping trips and they get freaky. Now, they get freaks out there, freak out there. Jay Oliver say, let that beautiful bean footage roll. Say, roll that beautiful bean footage. Oh, family, y'all about to see this stuff. Everybody talking to him. We about to get to it. And I'm like, this is my confession. My chick on the side got one on the way. I mean, no, not that confession. Sorry. Stand down. Fair use, family, fair use. This is for informative and educational purposes only. Now let's get to it. Family, y'all ready for this here? I want y'all to listen closely. While he was running, this is back, I think, a year ago when he was running to be the senator for Montana. And his opponent and other people was questioning the validity of his military service. So let's go with it.
But first, new reaction tonight about a pervasive story in Montana's Senate race. It centers around whether a bullet wound in the GOP Senate candidate Tim Sheehy's right arm happened in Afghanistan or was accidentally self-inflicted in Glacier National Park. NBC Montana's Jacob Owens spoke with the former park ranger who cited Sheehy in 2015 for the shooting.
Hold on, I'm confused. How can that be such a discrepancy? You receive your injury for the Purple Heart in Afghanistan or all the way in Glacier Park in the United States. That shouldn't be an issue, right? Family, you tell me if I'm lying. Anytime a weapon is discharged, there's supposed to be account for that, correct or not in the military? Is it different in the Navy, Brother Charleston? If a weapon is lost, everything stops. I've known commanders to lose their command because a soldier lost an M16 and they never found it. So you telling me if a seaman, a sailor loses, I mean, it's not just injured, but it's shot? Hold on. First of all, okay, correct. Our brothers say correct. See, we real military people here. Y'all faking it. Some of y'all faking it over there. We real military. Everything stops. Ain't no such thing as getting a bullet wound and it not getting infected. It don't bleed through your clothing. Excuse me? Nobody's going to notice it. In a combat zone? Hold on. I thought every bullet is supposed to be accounted for. They do head counts. All the chaos that was going on the battlefield, they knew what was going on. They knew where the bulldozer was at. Come on now. Now I'm confused. Now this is, hold on. You get to just pop bullets willy-nilly, and you know they can tell the difference. Now come on and talk to me. Talk to me. That's my Southern way of talking. I know the difference between an M16 round and an AK-47. Am I making that up? Isn't it a difference? I know what an M16 round looked like. First, he said he got shot by who? I'm gonna let you, boy, it's gonna blow y'all mind when you hear this guy talk. Oh, you're gonna hear him talk tonight. And I want you to look at his face. Now listen, Charleston say even the bullets must be accounted for in Navy. Yes, indeed. Especially spent shell casings. Now, but the fog of war, I guess, yeah, to an extent. Now, every tank round had to be accounted for. Now, listen, Betty Bob say nothing confusing. They are just barefaced liars. Oh, you can't say that about a Navy SEAL. That's supposed to be the most honorable thing. Oh, Lord, I don't know. She just coming straight out with it, isn't she? MG Smith say, that's a 2-2-3 round. Wow. Come on now. Fam, let's get to this. Listen.
The park ranger who cited Tim Sheehy for accidentally discharging his gun in Glacier in 2015 is speaking out publicly after previously telling the story anonymously.
I thought that would be the end of it, that he would say, oh, yeah, sorry, I did get that bullet in Glacier Park, and I apologize for saying it was a war wound. And he didn't do that.
Sheehy said on NBC Montana Today in April that he was wounded while serving in Afghanistan. Sheehy explained that not reporting wounds is against military rules, but being off the battlefield away from his team was not an option for him.
Did you hear that? This man broke the rules. Not reporting, huh? Listen, failure to disclose. Can you play that in the military? If it's something you need to tell the military about the status, and your viability to be able to complete the mission, and you're not able to, and you don't disclose that. Family, did you hear me? Remember, Benedict Arnold, if he hadn't won that battle, he was probably going to get court-martialed because his commanding officer told him to stay in his tent. And Congress already didn't like him. Wow. Too much information, Tiny Tim. Will attack. Watch out. My Lord. Huh?
I hid that. I was injured and hid it for years. Eventually, I was injured hiking with my family, so I went to the...
Hold on. He say he hid the fact that he was shot in the military. The thing he ended up getting, He got out in 2014. He was in the reserves 2015, a year later when he got out. He said, I hid that. A year later, I got injured again. He didn't specify what kind of injury he had in the park. Was that injury in the same place? And I'm about to blow y'all mind when they say something. Listen, because I'm from the hood. And my sister, Betty Bob's from the Bronx. We know about gunplay. Betty Bob's, let me ask you a question. And those of you that I got some rough hoods up there in Pennsylvania too, especially in Boston. If somebody gets shot in a national park or or they going in for surgery or anything, or let's say he was another injury and they found that bullet wound, what does the nursing, the medical staff have to do? What do they have to do? Whether you say, oh, I got this from back in the military. What do they have to do? If he was in a park and went to the emergency room and they discovered he had a bullet wound, what do they have to do? He's saying he hid this for a few years. Now listen, M.G. Smith said, that's court-martial offense. Yes, indeed. He failure to disclose, and he is an officer and supposed to be a gentleman. Excuse me? If an officer's word don't mean anything, can you follow them? Jay Oliver said, outbriefs must be complete for training. Come on now. Betty Bob say, how can you hide that? Doctors and corpsmen have right it up. And let's be honest, you know him being a Navy SEAL, he had physicals probably on a continuous basis. You think they didn't check his body for bullet wounds and shrapnel and x-rays and they wouldn't have found, especially his exit medical, and they wouldn't have found a bullet in his body that just happened to be found after he was at Glacier Park. Somebody heard a weapon, and come over and found out the guy was shot. He said he was shot from what the park ranger said. Guns are bad, okay? Document, yes, indeed. Reserve line of duty have to be reported to get service connection. Come on now, talk about it, Jay Oliver. Listen to him, though. Maybe we wrong.
The hospital to get it checked out, and they wanted.
Now, let's hear what he's talking about. He's talking about what happened.
Family, so I went to the hospital to get it checked out. And
for him.
I hid that. I was injured and hid it for years.
He said, I hid it, and I hid it for years. And he acted like he had an honorable reason. He didn't want to get one of his fellow Navy SEALs in trouble at the time. And you about to hear from him too. And then he says he got a third lie he go with. So which lie are we supposed to believe? Oh, y'all didn't know it's another one, huh? It ain't just, I got shot by one of my teammates. I got shot, I accidentally shot myself at the park. That's what he told park ranger. The same injury that he's claiming a Purple Heart for. Let's talk. Come on now.
Eventually, I was injured hiking with my family, so I went to the hospital to get.
He said, I was injured hiking with my family. He won't go in detail what kind of injury it is.
It checked out, and they wanted to file a police report.
Did you hear that? H-Town from the hood. You listen to me. I missed that part. That's what I'm saying. If you got a bullet wound, you got to report that. They going to report that to the popo. They have a duty that if anybody comes in with a bullet wound, whether it's a graze, they know all kinds. When they saw that, they want to do it. He said they wanted to, but did he have privilege where they didn't? Or did they? Betty say the nursing staff will question that and do a CT scan and an ultrasound to make sure that there is no metal in your body before surgery. Come on now. I had 3 CT scans, chest x-ray, and 2 ultrasounds for gallbladder. Let me tell you something. It was a sad situation, but a lady, her husband was there with her, and she was getting an MRI. I didn't know that was a magnetized machine. The nurse let him back in the room. He had metal on him. The thing drew him to it, machine, and it took his life. He crashed up against it. Did you hear me? So you think they would have him doing MRIs without making sure they knew that it was a bullet in him? Come on now. Destruction of government property is bad, okay? As Tiny Tim was government property, still discharged. USMCJ. Yes. Oh, y'all going it. Surgery 5 November 2025. Come on, just now. I hear you, sister. She telling from her personal experience. Let's get back to this here. Family, y'all not playing. Family, y'all not playing. Let's hear more from Tiny Tim.
And for me, especially at that time, 2015, the war was still going on. I had teammates overseas.
Hold on. He wasn't in no war. At that time, when this happened at Glacier Park, do you supposed to have a firearm at a national park? Tell me that. Because people be poaching animals out there. That's one of the real rules. This man breaking laws, and he gonna talk his way out of it. He said, I'm white and I say so. I'm privileged and I say so. I'm Tiny Tim and I say so.
It wasn't an option to have them get brought into an investigation. So, very simple story, but of course, blown out of proportion.
Hold on, listen what he say.
Of course, blown out of proportion in the... Very simple story, but of course, blown out of proportion.
I want you, he said it wasn't an option to disclose the truth that somebody that was in the military with you shot you and you were worried about messing up the mission. Ain't no mission if you're lying.
Into an investigation. So, very simple story, but of course...
I got to hear more.
Especially at that time, 2015, the war was still going on. I had teammates overseas. It wasn't an option to have them get brought into an investigation. So
he said wasn't an option. Say who? If somebody injured you, they could be injuring somebody over in Afghanistan while you back in the state. Who are you? Who left you in charge? It wasn't an option. You military property, partner. No, that would be a federal offense. Wow, M.G. Smith. Wouldn't they have charged him for discharging a weapon at the national park? I believe they did. I think he got a $550 fine or something like that. Now, if he is a armed ranger, yeah, I don't know if the ranger was armed. Now, laws for Tiny Tim, other laws for us. Wow. Huh? H-Town, who else giving you this information like this here? Breaking it down, ain't dancing with it, getting right to it. Jay Oliver and me. Yeah, we don't sit here and take credit. We celebrate when Betty Bob, Jay Oliver, Coasty, all y'all Charleston bring good information in here. We ain't trying to stand over and like, yeah, H-Town, I did all this here, and it's me. And I fought the enemy by myself. And when we was back at the range, I did everything in the tank. I was the driver, the loader, the gunner, and also the tank commander. Oh man, sit down somewhere. Tell H-Town to sit your country behinds down somewhere, man. I'm not country, I'm Southern. Some people don't know the difference. Now let's listen to our esteemed senator, who at this time was trying to become senator. Did he lie to do it?
Very simple story, but of course, blown out of proportion in the focus of this race. And it was weaponized.
Blown out of proportion. Isn't that an interesting word for a gunshot wound that you use for a Purple Heart that you got outside the military, but you use for why you was in the military, and you threw one of your fellow sailors under the bus, but wouldn't name them. That person was extremely, I can't tell it. Now listen to what he say. Betty Bob say, Tiny Tim is a complete liar. there is at least 2 corps assigned to each unit and a doctor. My ex-husband was a corpsman and was trained in Camp Lejeune. Let me tell you this here. Fam, can I come up on the screen? We got to talk about this thing tonight. I'm trying to get through it fast as I can. I was, I was concerned, after you kind of going into different things, you don't know when the enemy going to start popping at you. I would have my head, I'm outside the tank, we driving. I want to see what was going on. I didn't want to be inside the tank. I, get claustrophobic. So I'm up, my foot is like sitting on one of the bars where I can have my body outside the tank. Well, doing that for long enough with a boot on, I cut the circulation off in my ankle, so my foot swelled up almost twice as big. I had to take my boot off. And we call them the medic. Y'all call them corpsmen, the medical people. I'm assuming that's what y'all corpsmen are in the Navy. What do they call them in the Marines? What do they call them in the Air Force? The medic people. He come over there, he gave me something for pain, and he said, don't put your boot back on. And he gave me something to wrap my foot up. I couldn't put that boot back on. And I appreciate that guy. I don't know who he was to this day, but it worked. Because I just was standing up too long because I was trying to see what was going on with the enemy, man. Now, Charleston said, Captain America, Super Soldier Seal. Woo! SSS, Super Soldier Seal. Oh, I better not use that. Oh, Lord, that's another reference. Now, MG Smith says, H-Town and family, Merry Christmas. All take care. I have to go see about the grandkids. Take care of that business. Check it out later. Now, Marines use the Navy corpsmen and Navy medical. Okay. We have Army doctors too in ours. Now, family, let's see what he's talking about here. These are short.
By your opponent?
Peach says he was dispatched after a gunshot was heard at Logan Pass in October of 2015. Later, he'd meet Sheehy and his family at a Kalispell emergency room.
Now, listen, this is the what you call him, the ranger, park ranger. He said what happened. Listen what he say happened. He was dispatched.
Shot was heard at Logan Pass in October.
And it was weaponized by your opponent?
Peach says he was dispatched after a gunshot was heard at Logan Pass in October of 2015. Later, he'd meet Sheehy and his family at a Kalispell emergency room.
So he was dispatched as a shot was heard. So it wasn't just him. Somebody else heard the shot. He said, Merry Christmas, MG Smith. Everybody say, MG Smith, take care. Yes, indeed.
There was no denial of the incident. The fine was paid. And Peach went as far as to claim he could...
The fine was paid. So if the park ranger Peach was lying, why did Tiny Tim Sheehy, senator, pay the fine if he wasn't guilty? And how he didn't go to jail or get a felony for that? That's why they say black people commit all the crimes. No, we are prosecuted more. This man got off. Poor people committing crime. Yeah, I guess if you're harassing people in the Appalachian Mountains all the time and you're not going with these privileged people like him who grew up in a cabin. Oh, I tell you, on the lake, huh? Listen, my therapist is a Marine. This is Betty Bob. My therapist is a Marine. She said all medical was through the Navy because Marines is part of the Navy. Yeah, and y'all got excellent medical care. We are, man, I'm telling you. We love the Norfolk Naval Base. Whew. Excellent medical care.
Tell the Sheehys were somewhat traumatized by the incident. The former park ranger says Sheehy's story of being shot in Afghanistan is disrespectful to combat wounded veterans, saying he couldn't let it slide. He says this could all be solved if Sheehy released the emergency room records.
So he said all they got to do is release the emergency room records, they will know if that's a fresh gunshot wound or if that was a wound from a year ago. He refused to release them. He got the option, right? If you commit a crime, I thought you don't have no rights. Again, he got that, he got that former Navy SEAL. You think he wasn't dropping that in there? Privilege. That former Navy SEAL privilege. Come on now. Now listen, thanks Shipmate Betty Box for cleaning that up. Marines think they are separate. No. They're not. Just like an Air Force is part of the Army. That's why it's called AFES, Army Air Force, because the Air Force comes out of the Army and the Marines come out of the Navy. Marina. Same with Navy SEALs. They think also they are separate. No, they are not. They sometimes have to go on ships where they think they're cut above. They think they're something different.
I reached out to Sheehy's campaign to request an interview or to answer these questions if denied. What is the campaign's response to Kim Peach publicly coming forward and disputing Mr. Sheehy's story? And is there a reason the emergency room records have not been released? Sheehy's campaign declined my request for an interview, but did provide a statement. The statement does not answer my question about why the emergency room records have not been released. In summary, the statement says Peach is partisan and says he's being used as a last-ditch effort by Senator John Tester to disparage Sheehy.
So he's saying that the park ranger is partisan because he's a Democrat. Okay. So everybody, we doing the communist scare again, the Red Scare and all that now? Come on, why did you pay the fine if you didn't do nothing wrong? Because he didn't want further investigation.
The campaign says Sheehy will not let this slander keep him from fighting as Montana's next senator. The next portion of this.
So if he ain't gonna let it, he supposed to bring charges for lying on him. Why didn't he got his lawyers making papers. Why didn't he say this is slander? Why didn't he say these are false allegations? And I'm gonna sue for them because that's a very bold statement, and they're attacking his military credibility, which he is running on for Senate at the time. He was running on his credibility and being Combat Timmy. Tiny Tim, aka.
Statement reiterates the claim that the bullet wound is from Sheehy's time serving in Afghanistan, listing reasons he didn't report it, including to avoid being pulled from battle, triggering an investigation, and not having a fellow soldier punished.
So now he's God now, like you said last time, Charleston. He said he didn't want to be pulled from battle. If you are shot in your arm, you are compromised anywhere around your arm, because that will affect you using your weapon, doing your man. This guy's out of control, and he didn't want to affect the others. Oh, you so kind. Didn't want to affect the other team member, Navy SEAL. Now we have 10 likes and 9 watching. Thank y'all for watching, family. Charleston say, just because we Navy are lovers, not frontline fighters. Yeah, but y'all strategic fighters. Y'all have fighter jets. Y'all battleships. Now they got warships. Scare me. Don't be fooled by the Navy, what they talking about. Don't be fooled by what the Navy talking about. Because when them pirates be off the coast over there in Northern Africa and the Middle East, the Navy don't be acting like they know what to do. They don't be acting lost. They'll start with the water, and they know how they got guns on them. Don't you fool yourself. The Navy trying to downplay. I'm not crazy. Charleston, you don't fool me. Y'all got weapons on those ships. My friend told me y'all do. Oh, Lord. His records are HIPAA. Got Tiny Tim back. But if he want full disclosure, why don't he go? Wow. Yeah, I figured that. But I saw it as a crime, because if somebody has a bullet wound, that the police should be trying to find out. They were talking about filing a police report. I don't know if they did.
The campaign also claims the media is in cahoots with Tester and his allies to tear Sheehy down.
Fake news. It's the media fault now. It's the park ranger. It's his opponent, his Democratic opponent. Everybody but him. What happened to accountability? Remember how tough he was talking about accountability a couple of weeks ago?
You can read the full statement on our homepage, NBCMontana.com.
Fam, we not through. Huh? Come on, fam. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Family, it's going to get crazy for y'all. This about to get crazy because you going to hear from Tiny Tim himself. Did you hear me, fam? Y'all better thank Brother J. Oliver for his sharpness. But we all supposed to be old and slow. Remember him and this other fella talking about we was 180 years old and he was making fun of old people. Oh, let me get this here. Remember he was mocking elderly? Yeah. I ain't forget that. Now, fresh scrutiny. Uh-oh. Fam, we about to give me a second. So, family, y'all getting into it. Yes, HIPAA, he could cover his medical records if they made sure they didn't make it a crime. Oh, let's get to it. Tiny Tim, he had to talk because he's running for office, so he put it out as evidence he didn't realize, fam. Listen, fair use, fair use. This is for informative and educational purposes and dealing with the individual such as a sitting senator, aka supposedly a veteran, a combat veteran at that. Ooh, wow, isn't that tough sounding? Combat Timmy. Now listen, J. Oliver say, the Washington Post needs to dig into Tiny Tim's Purple Heart. Yes, indeed. Tiny Tim is getting paid by the government. The Washington Post is getting paid by the government. Lieutenant Colonel Gate is getting paid federal contracts by the government. So is Washington Post. Dakota Meyer just got a raise of about $100,000. He's getting paid $140,000 a month. Now he's getting paid $100,000 a year. He got a boost from the government for the Congressional Medal of Honor. Congress is over. Right, but that's a good thing. They do need to dig. Hopefully somebody in the Washington Post, since they're attacking veterans for being fake. Now, isn't that something, J. Oliver? They attack veterans for their fraudulent behavior. Why aren't they attacking Tiny Tim for his fraudulent things that are contradictory? They're not calling him fraudulent. Jay say, Coach say, Jay, yes, right on money. Now let's listen to this honorable man. Once a liar, listen what Charleston say. Once a liar, always a liar. You sound just like Betty Bobs. How can we trust these senators? And they know the dirt is on him. The other senators. You think Tuberville don't know this here? Why you think he's all cool with Tiny Tim, all cool with who? Lieutenant Dan. 100. Jay right on top of it, fam. Yes, but they attack us, but they won't attack this senator. That's more of a story. They talk about our veteran disability fraud. Did he engage in fraud with this? Because how easy, it's a lot easier many times to get disability if you got a Purple Heart. But what if you got that Purple Heart fraudulently and you receive compensation fraudulently from a fraudulent Purple Heart? That's fruit from the poisonous tree. Am I lying? Boy, they think H-Town's stupid. But I be listening. Fair use, family, fair use. Oh, look at him. He look presidential. He ain't got no tie on. He always trying to look like a 1980s somebody singing at Vegas or something.
Been in about 93 countries around the world. Carried a gun in a lot of them.
Republican U.S. Senate candidate Tim Sheehy certainly has an impressive resume. The father of 4 and successful Bozeman business.
So he's the father of 4. This is his family and his wife. The combat vet. She's a combat veteran too. And that's his 4 children. Look like he got 2 daughters and 2 sons. A beautiful family. I like that cute family. I have to say that. I like to see family. But hey, he don't talk about she's a mother all the time. He don't talk about his children. He talk about I'm a combat veteran. She a combat veteran. Okay. And somebody said that she has her social media shut down. I wonder why. Are people talking to him about these lies?
Businessman is a former Navy SEAL who served in a.
Here we go with the former Navy SEAL who served in Iraq, combat veteran, combat veteran, combat veteran. Nothing else. And boy, isn't he taking these pictures like he's in a video game? When I was in combat, I ain't never had time to take pictures like this. Somebody may have pictures, but it wasn't me. You think I was sitting around doing photo shoots in the middle of a war zone? Man, he had plans for something else. Those images would trigger me. Now, I ain't saying I wouldn't want to see some of them now, because one of the guys in headquarters was taking pictures, but he run me hot because he was taking pictures of, bodies, and he almost got hurt. I'm about to crush that camera with my, with my prayers. He stopped that real quick. Now look, that does look like AI. Betty Bob say, you sure that's a real picture and not AI Photoshop? H-Town was ducking and dodging. Yes, I was. Every time I heard something, I was diving. Yes, indeed, brother Jay Oliver. Man, I ain't want to get shot. And anybody has a Purple Heart, no disrespect, I don't see no honor in getting shot. I'm going to just be honest with you. If somebody gets shot, that's okay. I'm not looking for it. Now, if it happens, then they're heroic if it happens to them, but I'm not looking for the honor of being shot. No. No, I was ducking and dodging. Call me a coward if you want to. I got a big waterhead. Family, the enemy get me real quick, so I had to duck. Huh? Man, that looks like a picture that needs to be in a movie, doesn't it? Look at him, man. Everything is where it's. Look at the serious look on his face.
Iraq and Afghanistan.
My wife and I both served overseas.
Oh, Lord, there he go again. Me and my wife, nothing about your children. Bragging all the time. A professional combat veteran, but says we're not to be professional veterans. You don't hear me run around. I'm a combat veteran. I say I'm a veteran. Because I understand what Benedict Arnold did. He was a successful combat veteran, and he was his service was dishonorable. Oh, Lord. Now, listen. Charleston say that the one time I was on a helicopter, on ship, I vibrated so much to take a still picture strange. Wow. Wow. And the door is closed, so it's either getting ready to take off or it's in the air. You know what? And that's a detailed picture. Like she say, AI, that's possibility.
She is a Marine Corps officer, me as a Navy SEAL team leader.
And MTN was there in 2015 when he was presented a Purple Heart.
So he received a Purple Heart after he got out the military, after he was at the Glacier National Park, after he got the fine for shooting himself. That's what the park ranger said. He shot himself. They had the gun. He admitted to shooting the gun. I'll let you hear his own words now.
For another injury sustained during his time in combat.
You learn a lot in military service. You learn the power and the greatness of this nation.
But now new questions are surfacing about Sheehy's military.
Hold on, for another injury. Hold on. This gets
sustained during his time in combat.
You learn a lot in military.
So hold on. So this is after he got shot, but
Navy
he,
SEAL team leader.
And MTN was there in 2015 when he was presented a Purple Heart for another injury sustained during his time in combat.
that is weird. How, if they knew nothing about the gunshot wound in the military, he didn't tell them. It ain't like he told them and they wouldn't acknowledge it and he was filing claims. He just all of a sudden tell them and they, boom, you got one. That must be nice. Huh. That sure does look Photoshop, Purple Heart. You know what? A lot of the stuff is looking purple. That look Photoshop too. And look like he about to bust out the uniform. Because a lot of this stuff, you know, look like AI. You know, they always have people looking, the women more sexual, kind of showing cleavage and stuff. Is that uniform too small for him? Tiny Tim, you're doing too much, sir.
You learn a lot in military service. You learn the power and the greatness of this nation.
But now new questions.
Do you learn honesty? Do you learn to tell the truth? Uh-oh, now this gonna trip you out here. Let me know if you knew this, Jay. Now, this is one of the guys that served with him that supposedly shot him. 3 sizes too small. Do you see how they let him even wear it? Look at this uniform. He looked like he got on a sports bra. Got on like he got cleavage or something. Like he gonna be on a calendar. Oh Lord.
You learn a lot in military service. You learn the power and the greatness of this nation.
But now new questions are surfacing about Sheehy's military service, specifically how he was injured in combat. New reports published Friday in both the New York Times and the Washington Post.
How he was in the company. Oh, the Washington Post said something, but we ain't heard much about it. Now listen. Charleston say, my dress white shirt wasn't like that. The sleeves were big, short. Yes. He had his special tailor, you know that, because he'd been preparing for his rise on the political scene while he was in the military. Did you know that? I know this type. A candidate for U.S. Senate said he was shot in war. Was he? Wow. The New York Times, they kind of went at it, but they let it die. Let's see.
Detail accounts from 2 people now casting doubt on Sheehy's version of the events. In October of
2 people. Who's the other person? One we know is the what? The park ranger here. That's the entrance to Glacier Park and the exit. Listen.
2015, Sheehy received a citation for illegally discharging a weapon in.
What did he receive a citation for? Illegally discharging a firearm, a weapon. Hold on. He received a fine for shooting a weapon, and he was sent to the hospital for an injury. So if he fired a weapon, what was the wound that he had to go to the hospital for after being in Glacier National Park? Betty Bob said, Charleston, Z, I agree. I brought my shirts extra big. I have a big bust. Let me ask you this here. Do the uniforms shrink? What material are they made out of? Your white uniforms. Would they shrink? And you got to get them bigger. Let us know. You know, for other reasons too, depending on your shape and size, especially with female. Do you have to get them, anybody, male or female, do you have to get them bigger because they shrink or what? How do y'all do? Let us know.
Glacier National Park. At the time, Sheehy claimed his gun fell out of the back of his vehicle and accidentally fired with the bullet hitting him in his arm.
Oh! Did you hear that? How convenient. Hold on. Look him at the Vietnam Wall. Unless they got a wall for Iraq too. I don't know. Hold on. The bullet, hold on, listen how that happened. Listen to what he say happened.
Back of his vehicle and accidentally fired. He claimed his gun fell out of the back of his vehicle and
He say the gun fell out the back of his vehicle, just fell off his vehicle. It's hopping around like a firecracker, right? Like popcorn. Fall out the back of his vehicle. Listen, then what did the ghost do? This invisible man that was controlling his firearm.
accidentally fired with the bullet hitting him in his arm. She later.
Oh, the bullet hit him in the arm. Is this the same arm that he got injured in for the Purple Heart that he applied for after this incident at Glacier Park? I'm asking for a friend, family.
Later admitted that wasn't true.
So now he admit that the gunfire and hitting him in the arm wasn't true. That happened in Glacier National Park, that the bullet actually came from when I was in service. If I catch you in a lie too, it makes me wonder if anything you telling me is true. Listen, Senator, do you want to come on here and do an interview? I will be fair, sir, but I will be truthful. Huh? Now listen, they have to pay attention to stuff like this, fam. Now let's see. Okay, now Charleston say, Betty Bob Shipmate, I would like to see you in Tropic White. Y'all out of control there, boy. Look, okay, they made out of polyester. Betty Bob say, polyester uniform, I always got my whites bigger. I hear you. Now listen, J. Oliver say, when someone handles weapons, that does not happen. No, he's well trained in weapons. Now I have to give him that. He wouldn't have been in. Look, all of us are. What do they do with us before they give us ammo? They give us weapons with no ammo in it. We got to sleep with the weapon. We got to take the weapon, break it down. Before we get any type of ammo, they make sure we are comfortable with the weapon. If I'm telling the truth, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If I'm lying about that, put a 2 in the chat. Is the first thing the military does is give you loaded weapons, or do they give you weapons with no ammo and make sure you do what? Check to make sure that it's not loaded. Treat all weapons like they're what? How are we supposed to treat all weapons? When you're in the military, we're taught what? To treat all weapons like they are what? 1. I'm telling the truth. They don't just hand you everybody no loaded weapon. Oh, thanks, Charleston. I was gorgeous then. I was younger. Now Charleston say, number 1. Coasted in number 1. Loaded. Betty Bob say number 1. So why would somebody that's pretty much has to be an expert when it comes to weapon safety, because he is actually like they are baked potatoes. Yes, indeed. We got to treat them like they're loaded, like a loaded baked potato. I don't play with nobody even pointing a finger at me. I take that I want to break their finger. Hypothetically. I don't get accidentally popped by no weapon because I treat them all as loaded, even when they are loaded. I'm assuming that the trigger's all the way back, even if it's not. I'm assuming that I don't point no weapon at nobody unless I plan on doing something with it. H-Town, check up pipe for clear. Yes, but he didn't do that. And this is what's sad about it, family. If he's telling the truth, he is reckless as a parent, because I'm assuming or as a husband. He putting his whole family at risk. If that happened, like he said it did at first before he changed his story, he could have shot one of his children. One of them strays could have caught his wife, or some other unsuspecting person in the park where he doesn't supposed to have a firearm for that exact reason. How could a former Navy SEAL, because I know the Navy, y'all don't want to claim it, so y'all say former Navy SEAL. How could a former Navy SEAL be so reckless with a weapon? I don't think there is it trained or is psychologically ready. I think they do a whole bunch of hoopla. I think there's more to it. Now let's see.
He and his campaign then said the injury occurred in 2012 while Sheehy was serving in Afghanistan.
So it didn't happen in 2015. He first said that. Then he said it happened 3 years earlier. This guy's all over the place. Taking a whole bunch of pictures, though. He got always like to have his shirt open showing his taco meat. You see he's showing the hair on his chest, always showing that taco meat.
Telling the
I guess he think he a sex symbol.
Washington Post he didn't report it at the time because he received no treatment for the injury and said it didn't affect his ability to do his job.
Let me ask you a question. How in the world he got no treatment for a gunshot wound and it didn't affect his job? Hold on. Number one, an open wound is going to bleed, right? We ain't talking about a graze, a wound. Listen to this guy.
Post he didn't report it at the time because he received. Telling the Washington Post serving in Afghanistan, telling the Washington Post he didn't report it at the time because he received no treatment for the injury.
He's received no treatment. Is that how that works? If you receive a gunshot wound, you are supposed to tell your command, the person you under command. That could get you court-martialed because they could say you were doing something nefarious if you're trying to cover it up. What do most people get in trouble for? The cover up. Huh? He was Rambo. Sold his room in First Blood. Sold his wound in First Blood. Those Rambo movies did kind of make this super soldier stuff kick off too. That was another thing. J. Oliver, that movie started this BS. I agree. We both said at the same time. Yes, indeed. And just think about it. He growing up watching these movies in the 80s and 90s, the 90s.
And said it didn't affect his ability to do his job and that she wanted to protect his platoon mates by not triggering an investigation.
So he covering up. Is it legal to cover up a shooting incident in the military? I'm going to ask you again. Is it legal to cover up a shooting incident in the military, which you can legally carry firearms? It's not legal to cover up a shooting incident on a drug deal. Even though ain't nobody protest nothing, that's not legal, even though you engaged in illegal activity. So if you're doing something that's sanctioned by the government, is it legal to cover up a shooting that somebody, even if the weapon went off, it's supposed to be reported, but somebody got hit and you pretend like you wasn't hit and you super soldier and you can go, man, as I said, Betty Bye, and it will get infected. That is a foreign object in your body. Complete lies. Yes, indeed. So he kept, it didn't affect him at all. From 2012 all the way to 2015, he went to go get help on it in 2015, right? Where he had the bullet wound. First, he told the park ranger it was from shooting himself with the gun that just was jumping around by itself. Then he said, that's not true. Oh, I got that wound back in 2012 from being shot by, first he say, one of his mates, one of the U.S. soldiers. Come on now.
When I was 18, I was carrying a gun in defense of this country.
When I was 18, I was carrying a gun in defense of this country. Well, I hope you haven't pointed at nobody because I don't want you nowhere near me or my family carrying no weapon. You irresponsible weapon, sir.
But now the park ranger who issued the citation in Glacier has come forward, telling the New York Times he's 100% certain she received a gunshot wound in the park. And a former colleague and fellow Navy SEAL is also questioning Sheehy's account of what happened in Afghanistan.
Uh-oh. That's the second person. Listen, who this person is. This is going to put the nail in the coffin, to so to speak. Listen. Uh-oh. Who is this was in the Navy with him in Afghanistan? Who is this individual?
Also questioning Sheehy's received a gunshot wound in the park. And a former colleague and fellow Navy SEAL is also questioning Sheehy's account of
a former colleague and fellow Navy SEAL. Listen.
What happened in Afghanistan, saying the two met after the alleged injury occurred and that there were no signs of any injury.
Hold on. So they met after the injury occurred and there was no signs of the injury. Because you walking around, y'all know how it is. As men, we walk around with shirts on all day. Especially in high place. He looked like he about to bust out that uniform. Man, I mean, my Lord. And he wearing that T-shirt as thick as he could get it. This man is, what's up, man? He loves them cameras. Look at him looking at that camera.
Great. We did hear back from the Sheehy campaign tonight, who called that story in part a pathetic attempt by John Tester through an activist to disparage an American warrior.
American warrior. American warrior. The Department of War, not the Department of Defense. They are American warrior. What are we doing here? Are we back in the gladiator days? Or we back in the knights? The Knights of the Round Table? What in the world's going on?
Sheehy saying in that statement that he won't let any of this, quote, slander stop him from fighting every day as Montana's next U.S. Senator. He continues to enjoy a lead in most of the polls. In Bill.
Oh, now he ended up winning because the person he ran against wasn't a veteran. So it kind of looked bad when he was saying, hey, I'm more loyal to the country than the active veteran. But we need to put him, we're going to have to start saying something when this guy come up for re-election. We got to get him about the paint because he is a problem. Now, the last video we going to watch, family. Oh, that's our boy. Look at him. Oh, look at him. He got all the right stuff. Huh? Come on, fam. Y'all don't know what it's about. All right, now, family. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. This is for informative and educational purposes only, okay? Now, listen. All right, now we're going to go to the next one, the final video, family. We've been in that hour and 28 minutes, and I've been trying to get to it. We've been very organized. And as y'all get information to me, that helps me to, to get things together, especially when my mind is clear. All right. Okay, fam. Now, this the one where you're going to hear him talking and he's questioned directly. Okay. So, family, fair use, fair use. This is education. This is on the Megyn Kelly show, fair use, Sirius XM. So, fair use. And she asked him some good questions. She's a conservative herself, and nothing wrong with that. she's a she got a few things I don't care about. This is when he was still in what's called. Let me she goes and interviews him for a good few minutes here. Now let's see, fair use, family. Let me see. Pull this up. That's when because they got to go up there to try to make sure they win it. Now look at his nonverbals. Look at what he says. Look at how he says it. Now, and you make your decision. Come on, let's do it. Fair use.
Now your time is short.
And you can go watch the full video over on the Megyn Kelly show. Yes, indeed. She does a pretty decent job. I got to admit that.
Winning, according to most of the polls. But the Democrats, according to a new report just today in Axios, haven't given up on this race. Then they're feeling cautiously of negative ads about the combat record of yours, Tim.
So they talking about the negative ads. Let me see.
Based on, quote, a wave of negative ads about the combat record of yours, Tim Sheehy. Okay, so let's get to it so the audience knows what we're talking about.
You see how he keep looking off to the side to make sure he say the right stuff. You see how he keep cutting his eyes off to the side to make sure he, whatever they ask him, he got the right answer. He don't sound like he contradicting himself. Listen.
They are alleging that you lied about being shot when you were serving our country, which you did honorably in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you received a Purple Heart and you received a Bronze Star, that you said you received a gunshot wound to the arm over there, not for stolen valor. This isn't one of those things, but that in fact.
Is it not? Is it really? If you get a Purple Heart and you don't deserve one, do you consider that stolen valor, family? Put yes in the chat. If some stolen valor is when somebody pretend to be a veteran, but if you get a Purple Heart and you don't deserve it, is that stolen valor? Remember what it says on there. On the back of the Purple Heart, it says for military merit. Merit is valor. Is that stolen valor for somebody to get a Purple Heart that they don't deserve under false pretenses? Kosi said yes. Yes or no, family? Let us know. Put yes if you feel like that is stolen valor for him to get a Purple Heart and he got it through fraud. Yes or no? What do y'all say? Now, Charleston say, you know, the Montana women voted him in, ladies. Love a Navy officer and gentleman. Beefcake. Yeah, that BK, he all buffed up and everything. Oh, listen, Betty Bob say, and who knows whether he got one of them, you know how some people wear those like little muscle rubber suits to make them look buff. He ain't looking all that buffed down. Oh man. And Betty Bob say yes. That's stolen valor in her opinion.
You received it in a state park when your gun dropped and you shot yourself in the arm, and they have a park ranger who swears you told her that. And
it wasn't, she made a mistake. He gonna clarify that it was a male, not a her. And say yes, stolen valor. From Charleston, Betty Bob say stolen valor. So does Coastal. Okay, let's listen. Anybody like to comment? Let us know how you feel. If you think it's not stolen valor, let us know.
That you just made up, having taken a bullet in the arm when you were actually serving the country.
And yeah, if you like the kind of content, she do something, all right. She be on the, she be on that, she ain't see a black person that got popped by the police that she didn't agree with. But she's a very popular. She got millions. So, but she doing the right questions. I got to give it to her. You ain't got to always agree with everything somebody say to learn something from them.
Country.
She did great leaving Fox News, and now she doing her own thing, and she's just as good. I respect that.
So what's the truth?
Yeah, well, I mean, their entire campaign against me has been...
Their entire campaign. She asked what the truth is. He started talking about their entire campaign. Listen to him. He should be answering the question. What's true? Did you get injured in Afghanistan, or did you get injured at Glacier National Park by a firearm? Which is it? Where did you get the bullet wound? In Afghanistan in 2012 or in Glacier National Park in 2015, a year after you were out the military? And, he was in the reserves, though.
Based on character assassination. I mean, that's all it's been since the beginning, because John Tester's been a rubber stamp for Biden-Harris the entire time they've been in office.
He talking number politics. Not, man, I'd be so offended. He just sitting there look like look at this guy.
Voted to impeach Trump twice, has consistently put America first policies, America last every single time.
Now, this guy ain't getting nothing into what he's supposed to be talking about. About him, not about Biden, not about Trump, the President Trump or President Biden at the time, probably. Not about Kamala Harris, none of that. Not about the opponent he run against, about his record. Then you attack them if they lying.
And, every time he's run, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars in the state, and they have one playbook, and that is to literally just smear the opponent to the point where they're unrecognizable. And they're doing the same thing to me. And of course, John Tester loves to pose as a friend of veterans. Well, the first time ever he's run against a veteran, all they've been.
Well, let me ask Tester, who was in office, who had run several times before him, before he got beat by Tiny Tim here. I ain't never heard nothing about him attacking veterans. If he did, it wasn't on. He said he's a veteran, but he attacked veterans more than the other guy. That I ain't never seen the other guy come out and saying nothing bad about us. This guy got nothing but atrocious things to say about us. Tiny Tim.
Focus on is trying to shred my military record. And of course, I have letters and statements signed.
Shred his military records. He did. They said it's different. And listen, he got stuff signed by who? Listen.
Like dozens of folks that served with me saying, my military service was honorable.
Nah, that ain't it, partner. You ain't slick. No, I ain't talking about character witness letters. No, your documents. You said stuff on the record, in interviews that doesn't match your military record. Now you want to come up with what everybody's saying, they patting you on the back. Huh? Ooh, he this, he that, ooh. Even people, look, Ted Bundy had character witnesses. Mama spoke for him. Different people have people that love him, that speak for him, and he was a monster. Just because you got people giving character letters, your buddies, especially now that you're running for the Senate and they can benefit from it, sure, a lot of people write you letters. I'm sure some of them maybe wrote what they really saw, but they may not know the whole you.
Was fantastic. Was a good leader. Was a great teammate. And the truth,
good leader, great teammate. What that got to do with the Purple Heart?
Is, during an insurgency war like we were fighting Afghanistan for 20 years, insurgency is messy. And one of the most challenging parts we had as SEAL teams over my several deployments was we would have.
Oh Lord, if I hear any more about his deployments, and look, I had one deployment. So some people ain't had none. Okay, guy, calm down. So, man, that means I get to talk over everybody. Now look, Tiny Tim, tulips tiptoeing through the tulips, real good. He tiptoeing through the tulips. Yes, he is. He dilly-dally. Come on, fam.
Afghan forces embedded with us. And that means you're fighting not always alongside just a bunch of highly trained Navy SEALs. Much of the time, you are outnumbered by your own friendly partner force, sometimes 10-1, sometimes 20-1. You'll have hundreds of Afghans.
I saw where this was going. First, he said one of the Navy SEALs popped him. Now he about to blame these Afghans that were fighting with him. He throwing them under the bus now. So hold on. You told a park ranger that you shot yourself. You told, and I don't know why they didn't interview the rest of your family or whoever else was there. That's weird. Now, it's kind of the way it goes. Then you say it was somebody that was on your team that's a Navy SEAL, and you didn't want to compromise the mission of the SEAL team, because we know that these Afghans that fought with them was not Navy SEALs. These were people that fought with them that they were training. So now he's blaming the Afghans that he trained. But he don't have no confidence in what they're doing. He was one over there training these locals. Now he's saying they popped him. So 3 different people he said he popped him. He said he popped himself in 2015. Then he went back to 2012 and say one of the fellow Navy SEALs popped him. And then he said one of the Afghanis he was training, they were training, did it. This is all over the place.
That you're responsible for training and then putting it to combat. And we call those green on blue incidents, which actually were very, very common, where you'd have Afghans who either intentionally or unintentionally would end up shooting friendly forces.
Let me tell you something. This guy don't sound nothing about combat. Let me tell you something. Can I talk to you? I am a combat veteran. I'm not even an infantry soldier. Do you understand? If they don't need but one of their soldiers that's from there that's supposed to be trained by us. We already suspect of them. They ain't got to shoot but one. Once somebody shoot at us, we start shooting back. That's human nature to defend yourself. Everything in nature will defend itself. Everything. If you step on an ant, he's gonna bite you. Anything in nature would defend itself. You telling me he's saying this happened all the time, where sometimes they would accidentally and intentionally try to shoot you, and you dealing with these people, you giving them firearms, you letting them in your proximity. What kind of combat veteran are you? Really? Am I missing something? Has the military changed? Somebody please go through my military record and find what I'm saying is not true. Prove me to be a liar. Oh, I don't sit and brag about everything, do I? Who is this guy? Charleston say, once you lie, hard to remember the story. That's why he keep looking off to the side, because he got cheat notes. Now let's get back here with this guy. Let me know if y'all can hear. Look, this guy, is he like some kind of model super soldier or something?
Sometimes they just put their weapons on full auto and start, shooting whatever direction they felt like. So
did you hear this guy? They would put their weapons on full auto and shoot any direction they felt like. Did you hear this guy? Can you do that at a gun range? Let me ask you a question. He out there in a war zone and saying these Afghans just shooting and they not doing nothing. They just sitting there letting them do it. The American soldiers, the American sailors, these are SEAL team members who are trained to neutralize threats. That is a threat. And listen, if you're on a gun range, you point the wrong way, that sergeant will pop your helmet. Now, am I making that up? Because that is a safety issue. And he talks about it so casually, it makes me wonder.
It was a hazardous environment where we're dealing with, of course, actual hostile forces who were fighting Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Haqqani Network, etc. But half the time, we've also got to have one eyeball looking at our partner forces.
Half the time, you're looking at your partner forces. So that's only 20%, 25% of the time you were in the right place. Come on, man, that's all over the place. Even Vietnam, they never use auto waste of ammo. That's a waste of ammo. Yes, indeed. We shoot in bursts, right?
And, when those incidents would happen, everyone remembers, the Pat Tillman incident, unfortunately, very, very clearly, where it was
I am insulted by the fact that he brought up Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman was a honorably served soldier. He was a member. If y'all don't know the Pat Tillman story, I got the documentary. It was on the iPad. I got to try to get it again. Listen, Pat Tillman was in the NFL when 9/11 broke out. He joined the military, and unfortunately, he had friendly fire happen to him. He lost his life. Now, this man, you can't be in the presence of a Pat Tillman, my friend. Pat Tillman never bragged about anything. Please go look him up, family. He ain't brag about nothing. Matter of fact, let me tell you something. It hurts my heart because he didn't want them to use his brother said this. He didn't want him, if he was to lose his life, he told his brother, he told his people, he didn't want them to use his fact that he was in the NFL to propaganda the military or the war. He went to serve because he wanted to serve. He could have kept making millions in the NFL, but he chose to serve his country. Man, that said raw with me, but that's my opinion. Fair use, family. Fair
tragedy where Pat was killed by friendly fire. And of course, that investigation ensues and ends up destroying an entire command because they tear everything apart, investigate everybody all day long, every day.
That's the job. You act like that's something wrong. So they teared everything apart. Hold on. No, that's called order. You've already tore it apart. When somebody got shot, things are already out of control. The command has to get back control of the situation. Watch the movie A Soldier Story, one of Denzel Washington's first movies. And what's his name? Rollins. Famous actor, he passed away. He was a star. Denzel was a young actor then. They played that part. And it was on a base in Louisiana. One weapon, a sergeant was shot, and they were trying to figure out what happened. And what's the first thing you do? You look for the ammo. Go look at it, A Soldier Story. You would appreciate me telling you that's how. So no, we're not willy-nilly with ammo, even on a military base.
And even if the investigation proves nothing happened, the way the military works, as you well know, those investigations stick with those people for the rest of their lives and their career.
So hide it so it don't stick with their career. So you telling me a lot of these so-called special forces members are doing a lot of messed up stuff and they're covering it up so that don't stick with the war crimes, don't stick with them. So if you do this when you shoot one of your own, imagine what they do to civilians. Do they report any harming of civilians under the Geneva Convention? Well, that's going to stick with you. So no, we ain't going to talk about that. We only going to keep track of the good stuff that makes us look good. Now, is H-Town lying about any of this? Come on and talk to me. I'm yelling it because ain't nobody else telling it. Come on, fam.
And oftentimes end those careers. And in fact, our task force, that deployment, had one of those incidents, that ended up being a career ender for a lot of guys. So,
So if it's a career ender, it's needed to be a career ender because that's the military. You understand what I'm saying? You can't make your own parallel military justice system of your own, sir. That they too big to fail? Who's too big to fail in the military, sir? This man is talking about corrupt behavior that he was engaged in. And they're trying to normalize this. The nerve of him, this man has went against the USMC military uniform code of military justice. I forget.
Now, as a team commander,
wow, BS, not a career ender. Wow, man, listen to him.
Want to keep your team intact. We heard about.
You want to keep your team intact even if they shoot each other. No, I don't. If we had other tankers shooting it up, we want them out the way. Get them, relieve them of their tank duty, because I'm already trying to deal with the enemy. Come on, man. You don't go desert and restrain. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Come on, J. Oliver. Now, who else giving you this information like H-Town? Huh? I can sit here and fold them up like a wheelchair. I mean, not like a wheelchair, like a lawn chair and get them up out the paint.
Half strength at this point in our deployment. We'd had many teammates wounded and sent home. And me as the team commander, there was no position to be carted off the battlefield. Many of us were injured multiple times.
Hold on, you don't get to choose that. Who are you? We don't want nobody gone. Hold on. He talk about all these wounds they were getting. He say, but he only had one. Remember? Listen to the lies he tells.
Half strength at this point in our deployment. We'd had many teammates wounded and sent home. And me as the team commander, there was in no position to be carted off the battlefield. Many of us were injured multiple times.
So where's his multiple injuries at? He say many of us was injured multiple times, including himself. He sure got a lot of French talk. Reported no injuries. But he said he got out on medical discharge. Can't prove that on, man. This guy's a whole goofy. Good order and discipline is the cornerstone of service. Yes, you have to follow the chain of command, and you got to do that. You telling me they was operating their own military unit outside the military that they served in, outside the Navy? Excuse me? Navy SEALs are not on their own. They're part of the Navy. They are sailors. Come on here, man.
Don't report that simply because we're going to stay in the fights.
Hold on. You don't report that.
Times we don't report that simply because
we don't report that.
Stick with those people for the rest of their lives and their career, and oftentimes end those careers. And in fact, our task force, that deployment, had one of those incidents, that ended up being a career ender for a lot of guys. So, as a team commander, you want to keep your team intact. We were at about half strength at this point in our deployment. We'd had many teammates wounded and sent home. And me as the team commander, there was in no position to be carted off the battlefield. Many of us were injured multiple times. We don't report that simply because
we didn't report that. So these people was breaking the rules of military service. My God, a straight up outlaw.
Going to stay in the fight, stay with our team. We're going to finish our deployment and do our job. So unless those injuries are life-threatening, of course, if you've lost a limb like some of our teammates had, or there's a severe injury, you're going to deal with that because that person has to be cared for.
This guy's talking out the side of his neck.
But otherwise, you just keep on moving. So
otherwise, keep on moving. So you have to lie to your commander when they say, "Is there any injuries?" No, sir. No, ma'am. Can you imagine that? He's lying to commanding officers about the readiness of his team. Man, H-Town tear all this up, man. These people ain't no different than none of us. They just got a whole bunch of bling bling and shiny things.
It's unfortunate they decided to make this a focal point because it's a distraction, but that's what their entire campaign is about. It's about distractions because they can't focus on the issues. That John Tester's a loyal Chuck Schumer vote every single time.
So just
Chuck Schumer, the problem, Tester, the problem, Kamala Harris, everybody the problem but him. Now, she going to go into detail with him. Listen.
To be clear, did you shoot yourself in the arm?
Now, what? She asked the question, did you shoot yourself in the arm? Listen to his answer. See, that's why you come here to H-Town. We're going to finish this up. We're going to close it out. But this is the last video. We're going to make sure that when you see H-Town going after somebody, you know why. Even before I knew this information, I knew I've known this kind of job to happen. These are the kind of people that put everybody at risk. Everybody. I don't like them around. They're liars. They're deceptive. They're not there for the mission. They there for whatever they doing. To rah whatever. Sorry for my little blowing off steam. This is what she said.
No, that was never the allegation. The point.
And this is how she asked him this question.
That John Tester's a loyal Chuck Schumer vote every single time.
So just to be clear, did you shoot yourself in the arm?
No, that was never the allegation.
You see that? You see how long it took him to answer that? Look, he didn't know what to say. He knew he was about to lie. Listen, she get right to it. Did you shoot yourself in the arm? No. Listen what he does. Look at the pause.
That John Tester's a loyal Chuck Schumer vote every single time.
So just to be clear, did you shoot yourself in the arm?
Look at his face.
No, that was never the allegation.
He gonna say it was a delay. When we talking like that, there ain't no delay. If me and Dogface Soldier can talk direct, ain't no delay. We just, you see how he looking? No, that was never the issue, he would say. He said that wasn't, yeah, that was the issue. They say you, listen.
To be clear, did you shoot yourself in the arm?
No, that was never the allegation. The point is, it was a friendly fire ricochet downrange. That wasn't
friendly fire ricochet. You said sometime they would shoot at you. They wasn't so friendly then. Downrange and all this here. How you know if it was downrange, it was a friendly fire? How you know it didn't come from the enemy? And what about what happened in the park? Let's see. Watch his face. Charleston say defect. That's right. You're defecting. You gone rogue, right? Don't they have a name for that? When somebody go rogue, when they not following orders no more, isn't that what happened in the movie? What's that movie with Martin Sheen and Marlon Brando? Apocalypse Now. The Colonel went rogue. Boy, y'all asking too many questions, man. Why y'all gonna make this man House of Cards fall? Charleston say Purple Heart for friendly fire. You know what worries me about that? Oh Lord, I guess being in them zones, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna come back with the Lord. He said enough for all of. Listen, then people can just start capping each other. And the person that shot him did not get prosecuted. Purple Heart for friendly fire. That means people could say, hey, man, I'm gonna give you a Purple Heart. Let me just give you one, then you give me a Purple Heart. Hit me one time. Wow. I'm more confused. He gonna try to clear it up now.
Reported at the time.
To be clear, did you shoot yourself in the arm?
No, that was never the allegation. The point is, it was a friendly fire ricochet downrange. That wasn't reported at the time. And after having
but they're saying, just so I'm clear, that they're saying, and I don't want to harp on this, I just want to give you the chance to explain yourself, because this is their closing message. It's all about this incident. So if voters are confused, you're going to explain it to them. They're saying that you were in a park, Glacier Park, that you dropped your weapon, that it went off inadvertently and it shot you in the arm, and that there's a park ranger saying she spoke to you about that. It looks like you spoke to the Washington Post and you said that you lied when you told the park ranger about this. So
now he's saying he lied to the park ranger about shooting himself in the park. He gonna correct to say it was a he. It wasn't a she, it was a he, the park ranger. Look at his face, family. What do y'all see? Jalva say the horror, the horror. Look at this guy's face. Does this look like an honest face to you? Does this look like somebody that's trapped? Does it look like when grandma asked you, she loved Twister donuts, and one of her Twister donuts, you know how you take donuts and twist them. My friend, his grandmother came outside, we playing basketball. Judas, did you steal my Twister donut? He say, no, Ma. She say, get in this house. Oh, Lord, look at the look on this guy's face. And he wants to go after our benefits. This hypocrite. I see a deer in headlights, Charleston say. Now, did I slow roast him? Playing with me. H-Town gonna give you the truth. They don't like who it's coming from. They don't want the messenger. That ain't how God works. That ain't how the truth works. It's whoever's standing on business. That's what matters. You can't get all these curated people to do nothing because they all based on a whole bunch of lies. I told you it was messed up for me. I told you my first encounter with combat, I froze. I didn't lie to you, but y'all never judged me for that. And thank you. You may have felt some kind of way about it, but thank you for hearing me out. And if you was, I just say it was my bad. You know, it happened. That was the only time it happened, but that could have been critical. What if I supposed to be, paying attention in case some enemy came from the side? So, it happens. Yeah, but I'm not going to pretend. I went over there, it was Rambo all day. And man, go sit down somewhere. That ain't how it works. All you need is one call from home, and the best soldier will break. The best sailor will break. You find out your mom in the past, your woman or your woman or man is with somebody else while you over here. That could mess your psyche up. What is he talking about? But I'm trying to be nice. He's from Montana. Now let's listen.
Which is it? Like, did you shoot?
See, she ain't getting no straight answer from him. Listen.
That you lied when you told the park ranger about this. So, which is it? Like, did you shoot yourself in the arm inadvertently in Glacier Park?
No, we've discussed this at length repeatedly with every media outlet for the last year. It's been beat to death. The point was, at the time, I was injured and went to the hospital. They required a police report because any gunshot wound requires a police report of any kind.
Hold on. He said he didn't shoot himself at Glacier Park, but he had to get a police report because any gunshot wound requires a police report. Didn't he just say that he didn't shoot himself at Glacier Park, but they required a police report because he shot himself? What? Hold on. I'm going to get to your statement, Betty Bob. Listen to what he just said.
Here, it's been beat to death. The point was, at the time, I was injured and went to the hospital. They required a police report.
He was injured. He didn't say he was shot.
Because any gunshot wound requires a police report of any kind.
So a gunshot wound in the same area for his Purple Heart, he say he didn't shoot himself. Listen to what this guy said.
We've discussed this at length, repeatedly.
Like, did you shoot yourself in the arm inadvertently
And she on his side. She's a conservative like him, but she want to know.
In Glacier Park?
No, we've discussed this at length repeatedly with every media outlet for the last year. It's been beat to death. The point was, at the time, I was injured and went to the hospital. They required a police report because any gunshot wound requires a police report of any.
He was injured, but they didn't get him for the injury. They got him for the gunshot wound. I thought he said he didn't shoot himself. He just said no.
Any kind. And they said,
you hear that? A gunshot wound of any kind. He had a gunshot wound. It wasn't no wound there from 3 years ago because that would have healed by now. Ain't no open gunshot wound from Afghanistan 3 years ago, dude. There would be scar tissue or something, or an infection, or your arm might just rot off.
Report because any gunshot wound requires a police report of any kind.
Did you shoot yourself in the arm
Hold on, let me. I gotta get this. I'm gonna get y'all statements because we slow roasting this joker. I'm intentionally doing this because I want it to be repeated. So when this joker come back up, look at him looking off to the side for his notes, getting his story straight. You know what? You ever notice H-Town don't have to get no notes straight? There's no confusion about what he is saying. This one, Betty Bob. He has never been in real war. I don't see anything that says combat to me. remember what they said. I appreciate the fact Sid did say they be living in plush environments with air-conditioned rooms and all that. They got to do that to keep the stress down. They do that with the Air Force because they're going to be bombing us, so they got to keep everybody calm. I understand that, but don't come here like you Rambo next week and you've been in a trailer the whole time, air-conditioned with TVs and food and from home, and we don't get none of that. Now, let's what Betty Bob say. H-Town, I told he needs to be dragged about his lies. I brought soldiers back. I was in class with both men and women. Lies. They are lies. Coasty say, injured from what? Because he keeps saying I was injured. But Coasty say injured from what? First he say, no, not a gunshot wound. I was injured. Then he say they had to take a police report at the Glacier National Park in the emergency room because it was a gunshot wound. Hold on, you just said you were injured and it wasn't a gunshot wound. So the fog of war in National Glacier Park, where you're not supposed to even take a firearm, let alone be careless with it. Now Betty says, I did flights to and from Afghanistan for 9 years, and no one acted like this man. Officers and enlisted didn't act like him. Now I've never seen a combat veteran act like this. I ain't never seen nobody in a war zone act like this. I mean, a literal war zone where the people that's doing support, we all had the same mindset because we were all, anybody could catch a stray. Charles would say, okay, I was wrong. It was the... I'm trying to stay serious, fam. Hold on. Charleston, it's all Charleston fault. Hold on. Now, this is a serious issue, so I'm trying not to laugh, okay? Charleston say, okay, I wrong. It was the fog. I'm trying to get through it, family. Y'all blame Charleston. It's all his fault. Today it's the Navy's fault. Hold on. Okay, I was wrong. It was the fog of vacation, not war. I try to get through that and say it properly. Okay, I was wrong. It was the fog of vacation, not war. Oh boy, this guy, if he's not. And you know, he wouldn't even catch your sarcasm. This guy, number one, what's the name you say on this show? Number one son, not too bright.
Inadvertently in Glacier Park.
No, we've discussed this at length repeatedly with every media outlet for the last year. It's been beat to death. The point was, at the time, I was injured and went to the hospital. They required a police report because any gunshot wound requires a police report of any kind. And they said, we have to file this. We have to report this to law enforcement. And still having active team members, in the service who were involved in it at that time. I simply said, well, this is an old wound. They said, no, we have to report this as a gunshot wound, to law enforcement. So, I said, well, okay, fine. It was an accident. Even the Sportsman's Roof Sports Shooting Foundations have even said it's literally impossible to have that happen. It wouldn't work. And a weapon of that size had it happen.
If you have ED,
look, she caping for him. Oh Lord, let's get this doggone thing off the screen. Family, fair use. Oh boy, they talking to me. The fog of vacation. Oh, that Charleston, that's gonna be another what you call him? Yes, indeed, family. This guy here, he won't answer the question whether he was injured in the park. He's trying to say an old gunshot wound that healed. You think they don't know the difference between an old gunshot wound that's healed from 2 or 3 years ago, and that the scar ain't gonna be no open gaping wound like the one he just got that he admitted to the park ranger. Now let's get this here, man. This guy here, fair use, family. Fair use. This is for informative and educational purposes.
In the park?
They've even said it's literally impossible to have that happen. It wouldn't work.
But
And a weapon of that
wounded in the
size had
park?
it happen.
Now listen what he say. A weapon of that size.
To law enforcement. So, yeah, I said, well, okay, fine. It was an accident. Even the Sportsman's Group, Sports Shooting Foundations have even said it's.
Yeah, all them people on your side, they'll lie for you. What they not investigators, the Sports Foundation or whatever.
Literally impossible to have that happen. It wouldn't work.
But
And a weapon of that
wounded in the
size that
park?
had happened.
Did you have a wound,
No.
Tim, in the park?
Look, a weapon of that size, it don't matter what size of the weapon is. You can get, depending on how close the weapon is to you, how far, you get different type of wounds. If it can hit a certain place and go straight through, it depends on what type of ammo it is. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't know all this because I'm not really a weapons person. But yeah, depending on how it's shot, if it ricochet off bones, all this stuff. I've been on family vacations, took a week to recover. It was hell, I tell you. Yeah, he needed a hospital. He needed a emergency room visit. She keep going back. Listen. Now watch how he started looking frantic.
And a weapon of that
wounded in the
size that
park?
had happened.
Did you have a wound,
No.
Tim, in
No.
the park?
Yes, I fell in.
Oh, Lord, he said, no, I didn't have no wound in the park. Yeah. Hold on. You hear him? He wasn't expecting this pushback. Listen to this liar.
Happened.
Did you have a wound,
No.
Tim, in the park?
He said no twice. She asked him clearly, did you have a wound in the park? No. Now watch what he say next.
Yes, I fell and injured my arm when we were hiking.
Think on that. I'm gonna shut it down. I gotta close it out. We gotta end this guy here. This guy. Do you see any confidence in him? He's a very insecure individual because when we showed the video the other night, when the guy next to him started saying something like, oh, this is trouble, what he said, he looked over like, please accept me, please. I got a Purple Heart like you. He walks around with this Purple Heart under these suspicious conditions, but he likes saying he got one. He should be ashamed of it. All this confusion behind it. A stateside Purple Heart? A Purple Heart from civilian life? Huh? This grown woman talking to him, and he's recessing. He's getting real recessive. Did you steal the cookies? Were you in the cookie jar? Huh? No. Yes, I was in the cookie jar. Listen to this joker.
It wouldn't work.
But
And a weapon of that
wounded in the
size that
park?
had happened.
Were you wounded in the
Did you
park?
have a wound,
No.
Tim, in the park?
No.
Yes, I fell and injured my arm when we were hiking. So that's why I went, because, I could feel.
Do you think they can tell the difference between a fall injury and a bullet wound injury? The trajectory of a bullet is way different than you falling. He fell and got the bullet wound. Don't believe your lying eyes.
Feel the bullet get dislodged when I fell on the arm. You could feel the bullet get dislodged.
Ah.
That's why I went, because, I could feel the bullet get dislodged when I fell.
So he fell. He only fell, and the bullet from 3 years ago, the wound opened up, and when he fell, it just popped out. He could feel it dislodge or move around. It got dislodged and moved around in the new wound. Look at this guy's face. An idiot. Listen to this guy. Describe it.
Even the
Bravo and pretense. Yes, Argel.
Sportsman's Group, Sports Shooting Foundations have even said it's literally impossible to have that happen. It wouldn't work.
But
And a weapon of that
wounded in the
size that
park?
had happened.
Did you have a wound,
No.
Tim, in the park?
Yes, I fell and injured my arm when we were hiking. So that's why I went, because, I could feel the bullet get dislodged when I fell on the arm. You could feel.
So he ain't never told anybody about the bullet while he was in the military. While he was in the reserves, he didn't tell them about it there. He didn't tell about it when he got shot, but when it got dislodged, wow, now that's I gotta tell him now, it's dislodged. Not when I got a fresh bullet wound 3 years earlier.
Feel the bullet get dislodged, and then went to the ER to say, hey, look, I've got internal bleeding going on here. I've injured my arm. Can you take a look at this? Make sure there's nothing serious going on.
How you get a wound injury and get this serious internal bleeding? What tends to cause internal bleeding? Yeah, maybe in your arm, maybe in your body, you might fall and get some bruising, but that's usually from some type of puncture. Look at that looking at him.
On here, and then
are there
as
medical
a result,
records where the ER can say we did not treat a gunshot wound?
Bam! Are there medical records to say that they didn't treat a gunshot wound? Listen to him.
Well, there isn't. I mean, that's the point. You go in, you check on it, and you leave. There's not an extensive medical record for any of this stuff.
I feel please, if you're a civilian, all military members are not like this. We got people in this room that served their country honorably and got out and did other things. Betty Bops went and became an airline stewardess. So did our sister Farm Girl Rebel. She got a farm now. Betty Bops has been going through with surgery, not fake surgery. She showed me what happened. She showed me some stuff. No fake stuff. These people going through real stuff, and this guy playing around. Man, this guy. My God, look, Charleston, you dragging this guy. I'm trying. I want to give him some hope, man, because he's looking pitiful. This the same guy that talking about we shouldn't be professional veterans. Now it should be a hearing on him. Charles say this is the longest sea story I've ever heard or witnessed. Unbelievable. Let me get this joker back up on the screen. I want y'all to see him. I want y'all writing to be right here. Jay Oliver says, a seal with poor balance, bumbling, tumbling, and stumbling. Tiny Tim. Come on now. Listen to what Dogface Soldier say. My vets and H-Town, much love. I can't believe what I am watching. Megyn Kelly is exposing this clown. And she's a conservative that usually, if they of your ilk, you kind of easy on them. She can't get a straight answer out this dude. Everybody show love. He say when he fell down, the bullet dislodged. Well, where it dislodged to? You didn't have no hole in you? So you fall and just open a hole in your arm and a bullet started moving around from 3 years ago. It didn't bother you while you was in there. You didn't get treated for it, but you fell in the boot. How does a bullet, it starts being in the muscle? Let me explain something to you now. I don't want y'all to get the wrong example, the wrong impression. I'm from the Fifth Ward. They used to call it the Bloody Fifth. The Bloody Fifth. It wasn't that we were already running around shooting each other, but I got an uncle who shot 7 times. He has a bullet right by his heart to the day he passed because they couldn't move it because they'd move it. His heart probably would have stopped. He had another one pinched in his nerve. They get in certain places, they don't usually move. If they do, they'll cause gangrene because they start moving through and start infecting. I know people that have to get limbs taken off for that. when a metal started moving in their body. I saw that happen to a young lady that had a needle from which she stepped on, and it moved up her leg. They have to amputate it at the knee. Oh, my Lord. I'm telling you real stuff here. Now listen to what Coach say. Come on now. He said, come on now. You go to the emergency room with a gunshot wound and there's no record of it. Just like Chris Kyle just made a phone call and everything goes away. Now they say, Jalvin said, how the dog face. Charleston said, how the dog face. And Rambo took the bullet out. No, he said it was jiggling around. He didn't even take it out. He had to say something because they found the bullet in there. And he lied and said it was from 3 years before. Now, anybody want to come up and talk about this, you're welcome to come up. If you don't want to be seen, just show me your face one time. I won't show you to the crowd. If you want to come up and say something about this, you're welcome. I'll send you the link. Now, listen to this guy. Dogface, this trip him out.
You know, I've got internal bleeding going on here. I've injured my arm. Can you take? And then went to the ER to say, hey, you know, look, you know, I've got internal bleeding going on here. I've injured my arm. Can you take a look at this? Make sure there's nothing serious going on here. Yeah.
He said, I got internal bleeding. How you know you got internal bleeding? Unless there's an open wound. What is he? I don't know. Can you feel internal bleeding? What is he? Superman with X-ray vision? Who is this guy? Who dude is this? Who dude is this over here? Next to Megyn Kelly.
And then, are there medical records where the ER can say we did not treat a gunshot wound?
She asked him, are there medical records where ER can say that we did not treat a bullet wound? Let's see. I want her to say that again. She asked him, let's see what his response is.
Make sure there's nothing serious going on here. And then,
are there medical records where the ER can say we did not treat a gunshot wound?
That's a simple, straightforward question. What would you say to that? Either yes or no. There's medical records. Let's see what he says.
Well, there isn't. I mean, that's the point. You go in, you check on it, and you leave. There's not an.
He said you go in there with a bullet wound and just you go to an emergency room with a bullet wound. I don't care who you are. You ain't getting up out of there. The police gonna be up there holding you, partner. One of my friend's son was playing, had a gun in his lap, and it shot, and it burned him. The gunpowder burned him. They noticed the gunpowder burn and the heat from the barrel on his leg, that it was a weapon. They could tell that. Huh? And went to my friend's house looking for the weapon? Yes, indeed. Did you hear me? So you tell me they can't tell about a bullet and they not gonna report any of that? The popo was called. And they don't care if you black or white. They gonna call the police. They not losing their license behind you. Unless you are Senator Tiny Tim and you've been getting out of stuff all your life, telling tall tales.
The point. You go in, you check on it, and you leave. There's not an extensive medical record for any of this stuff. And unfortunately,
he said that's not an extensive medical record for any of this stuff, even gunshots. I'll be doggone. You know, that was a young man, I forget his name, in D.C. The police put him in the back of the vehicle. He didn't do nothing wrong. He ended up dead in the back post. You know what they did? They went and found something on his mama. He didn't have no criminal record, but because they killed him, they wanted an excuse. They said his mama committed a crime. She wasn't in the back of the police wagon. Did you hear what I just said? I think his name Gray, something Gray. Man, this guy here, this is your leader. How do you feel about it? This the one trying to take your VA disability away. How y'all feel about it?
Well, there isn't. I mean, that's the point. You go in, you check on it, and you leave. There's not an extensive medical record for any of this stuff. And unfortunately, that's the crux of this, is there's just not a whole lot to talk about. They decided to take this one report from a park ranger that I gave him that report. I stood in the parking lot, said, hey, this is what happened, and 5 minutes, we go on our way. And they decided to make that.
He admit now that he said this what happened. And they took the report. Of course, there is an extensive record. Of course, especially something happened in a national park, because they're gonna want to know, did he harm any animals? Because people poach. Man, did we make him look like a fool tonight?
I gave him that report. I stood in the parking lot, said, hey, this is what happened, and no bleeding going on here. I've injured my arm. Can you take a look at this? Make sure there's nothing serious going on here. And then,
are there
as a
medical
result,
records
they have to file a
where
report
the
based on that.
ER can say we did not treat a gunshot wound?
Well, there isn't. I mean, that's the point. You go in, you check on it, and you leave. There's not an extensive medical record for any of this stuff. And unfortunately, that's the crux of this, is there's just not a whole lot to talk about. They decided to take this one report from a park ranger that I gave him that report. I stood in the parking lot, said, hey, this is what happened, and 5 minutes, we go on our way. And they decided to make that, the focal point of all
So
this.
confusing.
Now he not refuting what the park ranger said. He said just making the focal point. I gave him this and all this to this guy. So confusing. And this is supposed to be somebody, the next time you hear him speak, you got to get them at their weakness, fam. This is his kryptonite.
This park ranger doesn't seem to be a Republican. Kim Peach is.
Yeah, he might not be a Republican. The ranger, they trying to say because he's a Democrat that he's lying about him. Nah, he may not be a Republican, but he definitely ain't a liar, because he would have sued him. Tiny Tim would have sued him if he was lying. He wouldn't have paid the fine. Let me ask you this, family. The fine that he had to pay for discharging a weapon in the park, that he admitted to and paid the fine and said he shot himself. Then come back and say no, but then say yeah, then say no. What is going on here?
Is her name? She once mocked former President Donald Trump.
It's a guy.
I guess it's a him. Okay, his name is Kim. He once mocked.
Yeah, they want to clean it up now. I don't want to hear all that. I want.
You have defined their post-military lives, because there's another guy.
Yeah, they trying to clean it up now. She trying to resurrect him now. Look at his face. He almost going to sleep. He don't know what to do. I thought this was a big old muscular bad boy. Huh? He just is. Hold on. What happened to bad boy? Family, what happened to him? Huh? Did he come to the H-Town family and got cooked tonight? Huh? Fam, what's going on here? Let's talk about it. Oh, I guess to be in the lodge, you got to be a liar too. You notice all of them coming up with shady pasts. They got, before they let them in to the VIP lounge, these so-called non-veterans, they call themselves everything but a veteran, they got to have dirt on them. Photoshop. Come on now. Seem like it. Come on, fam. What y'all think of this? That's why I say they trying to divide us with hypocrites, number 4, the bait and switch, secret motives, ranking themselves, and achievements. Is his achievement of a number 1? Y'all think H-Town making this stuff up? Number 1, his achievements. Did he really get a Purple Heart in Afghanistan, or he got his Purple Heart in National Glacier Park here in the United States? And it's documented. That's how much of a village idiot he is. Now listen, and he curses us out. You know how he curses us out. Now, Charleston says, did Tiny Tim have a dog on vacation in that park? He could blame the dog for firing that gun. Yeah, he didn't want to blame them his family. He would have. They probably said no. So he come up with several lies. Look at, man, if you see that, I got to get this guy off the screen. He sickens me. I ain't gonna get it. This guy's sick. I'm gonna have to keep it up there. Time out, family. Oh, I got to go back over there a little bit before I go time out. See, that's Gabe's story. Oh, Lord. Here you go right here. I'm going to get to it. See, we have to do, or you wouldn't have lied to get in that VIP lounge where they can take care of you to just take a dump on veterans. Or you wouldn't do that. Remember, they had Gabe doing it. Remember, they had several people doing it. Dakota Meyer called us victims. Look, he was a victim of his own gunshot. This guy, Tiny Tim. Coach say Charleston, maybe it was a wild bison. Shooting a gun. I blame a wild dog or bison. Okay. LOL. Okay. Yeah, let's take up for him. You're right. He is a fellow, he don't call himself a veteran. He's a former Navy SEAL. He ain't keeping his body sealed up, I tell you that much. Betty Bob's H-Town, his wife probably shot him. That's what I'm thinking. She was tired of this sugar honey iced tea. Oh, Lord. What say she got tired of it? Uh-huh. Huh? If going to lie big. But let it be kind of convincing. He can't get his lie straight. And he was with a soft interviewer that's on his side, but she's trying to keep the interview legit, right? All these people attacking us, and they in a house of glass. Am I right? Am I right? Are you right? Y'all right too. Time out, family. Time out. What about the Uniform Code of Military Justice? He didn't have to follow no rules. Have you somebody here, you might have been written up or they threatened to write you up. Have you ever been threatened to be written up or brought before USMC or given an Article 15 or anything like that? And you ain't just walk away because you lied and got away with it. Come on, fam. This ain't making sense. He's an officer. He was supposed to be relieved of his command when he covered up. Because even in special forces, he has civilians. I mean, not civilians. He have enlisted up under him. Okay, say yes. Okay. Yeah. He leading soldiers, and man, he's an officer. He could be relieved of duty. He's supposed to be taken off his command. Lying about a shooting incident. How many movies have we saw behind some type of incident where somebody's injured? Like A Few Good Men. Shout out to Rob Reiner. Rest in peace to him and his wife. Come on, man. People went to jail behind that, right? Colonel Jessup went to jail if you watch the movie Few Good Men. Yes, Charleston said. Oh, boy. We're about done here, man. We're not coming back until Sunday. All right? So how would you grade his performance, family? How would you grade this former Navy SEAL, Tim Sheehy's performance in dealing with his Purple Heart? Would you give him an excellent review, say you deserve it, or you give him a poor review? Do you give him excellent, good, average, or poor? on the way he explained or justified his Purple Heart. Because he wasn't shot by the enemy. He was shot by, he said somebody's own team, then he said he shot himself. How would you rate him? Substandard. Okay. Substandard from J. Oliver. Poor from J. Oliver. It could be substandard too. Now, Charleston say, no, I told truth to Captain. They officers crazy. Captain said, okay, I understand. See, yeah, if you come straight, how would you rate him? H-Town just say poor, but you can rate him different because was that the worst thing he could do? How you rate his performance? Coaches say poor. Betty Bob say poor and snatch his Purple Heart. Never thought about that. Should we have a campaign to take that Purple Heart from him? He might lose it on us. Poor liar. Poor, he's a poor liar too. Okay, family. Take that Purple Heart from him. You are fired. He should have been relieved of his command as an officer. Now I want to ask you this here. Dealing with Combat Timmy, AKA Tiny Tim. Give me a number. What do you think he should have received? Should he still, given what he done, received an honorable discharge? If so, meaning he met or exceeded the standards, put a 1 in the chat. If you think he should have got a general discharge, meaning he underperformed or he had medical issues that, that he didn't reveal or that caused problems, he should have got a general discharge. Number 3, bad conduct discharge. Unethical or unlawful behavior, but it's not as bad as a dishonorable discharge. Now, this honorable discharge is a felony. Number 4, he killed somebody or he does something, but in this case, he shot himself, allegedly. He pretty much said it, military prison. Which one should he be, family? Which one? Look at it. I have description in black right up under each one. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let us know. What do you think? Should he have gotten an honorable discharge? Should it be changed to a general discharge? Number 1, should it be kept at an honorable discharge? Number 2, should it be changed to a general discharge? He underperformed, medical issues. Number 3, bad conduct discharge. He did something unethical and unlawful, and it should be 3. Or number 4, he should get a dishonorable discharge of felony. That's say for the most egregious things, like murder or something. But he did seem like try to take himself out. If it's true, he said on 2 different occasions. But I think number 3, he's unethical. Charleston say number 3 because he's bad conduct discharge. He wouldn't qualify for benefits though. Jay would say 3, bad conduct discharge. I say 3 too, but it depends on what you like. And I also feel like there should be punitive charges for what he's done. Now there should be punitive charges. Right now, punitive discharge, because I consider that a security breach when you are sitting there, because they have to have a high clearance and not divulging what's going on and keeping people abreast. That he's a security breach. He was running a parallel military operation where they chose what to tell command and not. They think I'm stupid, huh? And with this punitive discharge, you don't get usually health care, money. He got rewarded for all that. Now, when it comes to it, let me tell you the difference between a bad conduct discharge and these are consequences for punitive discharge. There are 2 types of punitive discharge: bad conduct discharge and dishonorable discharge. Bad conduct is not as bad. It is bad. You forfeit their pay, lose their rank, loss of military benefits, not recognized by the federal government as a veteran, and must be disclosed if asked when applying for a job that you got a bad conduct discharge. But this man got to become a senator with his behavior. Okay, now this is another type of punitive discharge and its consequences. The dishonorable, which is the worst. Dishonorable discharge, loss of VA benefits, loss of civilian rights, disqualified from federal employment, barred from owning firearms. He probably need to because he's careless with weapons. He in a park that he don't supposed to have weapons. Next, may not qualify for civilian government benefits, unemployment, federal student loans, or any of that. And of course, VA benefits, no. Lose the VA benefits. Oh, Betty say number 4, dishonor. Now tell me why you picked 4 in Charleston and J. Oliver. Why did you pick 3 if you wouldn't, feel like coming? Now, family, this is something else. Family, are we tying it in? Now, the stats on these, and this is why they're so skewed. Look, most people, blue gets honorable discharge. About 77%. Most people get honorable discharge from the military, regardless of branch. However, the next largest group, is orange, uncharacterized. And this is kind of people that didn't stay in long. They get injured in basic training. So they really look at the bad conduct. It don't make up about 1%, 1 or 2%. And general discharge, 6%. Dishonorable ain't but 1%. Huh? But shipmate, he got 4 children. Let me ask you this here. Do y'all remember how he talked about us? And how we need to get a job and we need to stop giving out free blankets. You know what he was attacking? He was attacking homeless veterans. When he said about blankets everywhere, who else need blankets but the homeless? He does have 4 kids, family. Do you want to rethink your evaluation now that you know we have 4 children and a wife? Huh? Maybe her combat status can take care of the family. Oh, did I get slick with it? Betty say, he did not care or think about you. No, he didn't care. But he want us to care about him. He can't even answer straight questions. J. Oliver say 3 because he admitted to dishonesty in uniform, failure to disclose a shooting. So he said, or lied about it. Come on now, family. Now he said he got a medical discharge, but the paperwork from everybody that looked at it say it doesn't. If I get it, I wish I could get it. He said he got a medical discharge. But how you get a medical discharge if he said wasn't nothing wrong with him, that he didn't get no treatment for nothing on the way out? Then change it to he got treatment for that being on that submarine, which was a non-combat injury. But he said you should not get medical discharge for non-combat injury because medical discharge means disability. He said he was on a submarine and he got a hole in his heart, non-combat. But he said no benefits for non-combat veterans. Well, he got it as a non-combat veteran because if your injury is non-combat, even if though you was a combat veteran and you didn't get injured as combat, you got injured stateside, that's a non-combat injury. Hypocrite guy, hypocrite. Now, Charleston say, true shipmate, Betty, I'm getting soft in my senior years. Now listen, Our sister said he lied and never followed the chain of command. Is that something you could almost get? You can also, you can also get the that's almost as bad as desertion. I'm putting it. If you had one or two words to describe Tiny Tim, if you had one or two words to describe him, what would it be? Let us know. If you had one or two words to describe this senator, that we just heard, and he always showing off his taco meat, hair on his chest, got his shirt popped open. What would it be if you had this senator here? I think he's 40 years old, and say he got a Purple Heart, but he actually he admits to shooting himself in the park, but way back in Glacier Park, where he wasn't supposed to have a weapon, but then went back and lied and said it was early. Let us know. What would you describe him? Say little boy. What would y'all describe him as? We're gonna get ready to close out. Man. But he said he got out with a medical discharge. I don't know how true that is. Because they said that not. He said he got treatment, but then he contradicted himself and say he didn't get any treatment in the military. How many lies do you count that he told? How many lies did you count? How many? I'm gonna try to estimate. I don't remember. Did he say anything that was truthful? Would you put it over 10 lies? 5 lies? How many lies do you think he told during the interview with Megyn Kelly? Let us know. That last interview. How many lies? Thousands of lies. Since this happened, he probably told thousands. I'll go with that since all this happened. See, but he most likely, if he got a Purple Heart, he got the legal status of a disabled veteran, most likely. Does he deserve that? Say, what does that word mean? Caustic. What does that mean? Lost count. You don't know how many, he lied so much. Now listen, Coastie say, if you get a medical discharge, wouldn't that carry over to reserves? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Now, there are some people in the reserve, they'll let them in with that. Some they will not. I know one guy, he was in the reserves and he was going to file for disability, and they tell him they're going to put him out. Real good question, Coastie. Legal status, disabled veteran, because they don't like you double dipping. Remember, I showed y'all that a long time ago. If you go back in the military, you may have to give up your disability, especially if that reserve go active, because they don't like acid personality. Okay, caustic. Okay, I learned something new today. Even with a 0% rating, he would have been recognized as a disabled by the VA with that hole in the heart. He got a medical discharge. Now, what y'all think of Tiny Tim, Combat Tim, Purple Heart? Let me ask you this here. If you feel like he should keep his Purple Heart after what you saw, put keep. If you feel like it should be taken away, his Purple Heart, after what you heard him say and the other things, in particular what he said, but interviews and other interviews, keep or take away. Oh, I ain't need to do all that. Come on now. I ain't need to do all that. Oh Lord, what is it? Oh, this that game is playing with me, y'all. Oh Lord. I don't know where y'all at, and I don't want to pull it back up again. God, dog. Because it's going to be 2 screens. I ain't going to be able to pull it up. God, dog. So, family, what it is, I moved my screen that I got with y'all. It kind of went off to the side somewhere. And if I pull up another, it's going to be double talk. God, dog. So, family, I don't know if I'm big. Tell me if you hear double. Tell me if you can hear me when I'm going to stop sharing this to see what happens. This is going to be, because I had this happen before. So, family, I'm sorry, I can't. This gonna be, it might be double. Let me know what's going on. Man, I can't stand when it does that. Tell me if it sounds like my voice is double. All right. Let me see. All right. Now I'm trying to get. Can you hear me? Let me know if everything okay, because it has me twice, and so I can hear myself. So I'm gonna have to take the headset off. So as long as it's not double with y'all, we good. Now, family, we gonna go and get ready to close it out because it's gonna be. I ain't gonna be able to go much with it. So look at him. Should it be taken away? Should he keep it or should he take it away? Should he keep it? Betty Bob say snap purple on the way. Which would be done? J. Oliver said entire claim file should be reviewed by QA. Who is QA? And each claim should have CMP exam done. Each ribbon should be sent to the board for validation. Yeah, he shouldn't be able to be no part of the process. It should be in. Now, I'm asking a question. Y'all answer yes or no. Did Senator Sheehy earn Purple Heart for military merit, or is this another combat Timmy tall tale? Was this a tall tale, or did he earn it? Let us know. Did we answer the question? Did we answer the question tonight? Yes, it's a tall tale, or no, he earned it. Just let us know what you think, or maybe. Did he earn it? Yeah. See, he was unprepared, and he got exposed. That's why we have to be prepared. Did H-Town give you the defense you need, the weaponry you need to handle it in a psychological sense? Tall, was it a tall tale? We got to stay on cold and we got to handle what we're doing. And I want to ask the question: where is Dougie on this issue? Why didn't he say anything? Answer the question. Okay, thank you. I know it sounds simple, but we got to get on that. We almost done. Smash the like button, family. Smash the like button. Share with others. And subscribe. This information is important. Family, we're not going to go with VA law anyway. And veteran news, we ain't going to cover that tonight. We covered enough. By our channel. We want to be interactive, protect, transparent. What he was not. Regularly scheduled live streams on 6 p.m. on Sundays and Thursdays. There's our contact information. Yes, Toasty, he had applied for the IRR contract. So he lied on it when they asked him, did he have any type of ailments that limited him from doing this, performing his duties. He must have lied on it, right? Now, because how would they let him in? Okay, now, Betty Bow said, yes, you answered the question completely. If you need to contact, here's our contact and donation information. Audio drop H-Town. Yeah, that's the problem. So I'm going to have to get off. Okay? Let me see. Tell me if it sounds better now. Is it dropping still? Tell me what the audio is right now. Because I'm going to close out because there's 2 screens open. I don't know what to do with it. After 45 minutes, we're going to get it. Tell me if you hear me. Any questions? Just put your questions in because I'm going to have to close out because it's kind of, it did something crazy. Weather, tell us how the weather, where you at, and the temperature. Okay, we're going to get ready to close it out. So, okay, come up. No, I just set up that for advertising. Yeah, let me close it out. Good night. Good night.